Okay. So, I believe we're coming to the end of 1 PM because I've reached it with basically everyone except for Kano, who has progressed basically nothing in his story because he had a very grisly end very early on. But before we get to that, I believe we have to meet up with Tama some more. Because Tama has some suitless antics to get through, and I'm sure they're just as scandalous as that name suggests. Kano still has a bad end, but, yeah, so... I believe this is the jump. Whoops. Oh wait, no, there were 2 jumps in this one. Yep, okay. Wait a minute, 40 or 45? Let's find out. So Tama is going to take off her suit and go to the shopkeeper. It looks like this is the wrong time. I'm gonna... Yeah, this hasn't unlocked anything, I don't think. Yeah. Was there another one? Was it this one, maybe? No, that's even more wrong. It's possible that this jump is in Kano's timeline. Okay, so I guess we won't be doing that, and we'll instead be jumping to Osawa's timeline and finishing that off. Although maybe after I do, I can check all these alternates, because I don't think I did all that. Unfortunately for these two, it's not Mr. Tanaka. Right now, Tanaka is at the Osawa residence on his way to speak with Kenji Osawa, who's washing dishes after lunch. I forget who's speaking, but I'm going to assume it's Kajiwara. Director, if you have a moment... Oh shit, it's Tanaka. Tanaka poked his head into the kitchen. I've got something to discuss with you. Yes, of course. Osawa took the bug tracker from his pocket and handed it back to Kajiwara. I won't be needing this anymore. As soon as they left the kitchen, Tanaka leaned in close and whispered to him. I got an email from Hitomi. He showed his cell phone to Osawa. It looks like my sister is being held captive in a blue minivan somewhere in Shibuya. But the man is still chasing me, so I can't really go looking for it. A blue minivan? Allow me to handle this, sir. I'll figure something out. Osawa knew he trusted Tanaka for a reason. Thank you, he said with a bow. Oh, you wouldn't happen to know any place she might have gone, do you, sir? What? It's just that all she's told me is that she's been moving around. I'm sorry. I don't really have any idea, Osawa replied. He was ashamed to say it. There wasn't a single place he knew of where his daughter might be inclined to go. Ah, I see. Tanaka, picking up his discomfort, was visibly embarrassed himself. He hastened to chase the subject. That is a garden path sentence. By the way, how did your talk with Mr. Makino go? I confirmed that he was behind the human testing, but I don't know who sent me those emails. Tanaka paused for a moment in thought, looking like he might have a hunch. Alright then, he said. We'll have to talk in more detail later. With that, the assistant director headed out for the front door. Mr. Osawa. Kajiwara spoke from the kitchen floor. Peeping in me again, huh? Osawa grumbled. Thankfully, it didn't appear that the detective had overheard his conversation with Tanaka. And good grief, that thing is noisy. If it's broken, why don't you just throw it out? The sounds from the bug tracker grew fainter and fainter. Something wasn't right, Osawa now realized. Mr. Osawa, Kajiwara said. This is my bug tracker. So? Osawa huffed. What I mean is, sir, this one isn't broken. What? A chill ran up Osawa's spine. What is this music? He swallowed audibly. I've pinpointed the source of the signal, Kajiwara said. It's coming from Mr. Tanaka. No, Osawa thought. I must have misheard that. Hold on, say that again. I've located the source of the signal. It's coming from Mr. Tanaka, the detective repeated. Osawa heard him crystal clear this time. I'm certain of it. Mr. Tanaka has a listening device on him. Osawa felt the blood draining from his face. If someone had been listening in on the conversation just now, then they'd heard about the email from Hitomi. If the kidnappers were the ones listening, that meant Maria's life was now in danger. Also, they heard about the emails, but I mean, we don't have to worry about that. I'll go after him, sir. Kajiwara broke into a sprint. Osawa followed close behind. Is this going to be how it ends? Yep. Interesting. The plot thickens, so to speak. But what other choices did I not take with him? Because there are quite a few. Quite a lot, actually. Wait a minute. I've gone too far, haven't I? Yeah. So let's see when these repeat, because a lot of these have been mattering not. So this is Kajiwara asking him to tell him about the emails, I think. He needs to keep this a secret. It doesn't concern you. Alright, the detective said. In that case, I just have one condition. Please take this with you. He produced something that looked like a small transceiver from his coat. What's this? It's a bug tracker, sir. It'll beep in response to a nearby listening device. I don't need this. He pushed Kajiwara's hand. Yeah, okay, that's the same. But is it way different now? It's not. So Kajiwara had no reason to know that. Oops. This will be doing nothing, I feel. I'm just going to buy some cigarettes, he lied. Kajiwara flashed an awkward smile. Now that's odd. I didn't think you smoked, Mr. Osawa. I'm getting them for I. I've never seen your wife smoke either, sir. And besides... Kajiwara leaned in closer to him. Your wife isn't even home right now, is she? This wasn't going to... as Osawa had hoped. Evidently he wasn't a very good liar. Even so, he decided to double down. Alright, fine. It was actually to Mr. Tanaka who asked me to get them. Oh, now that's surprising. Is that the sort of thing he'd ask of you, Mr. Osawa? Kajiwara was genuinely gifted at getting on one's nerves. Osawa barely contained an urge to punch the detective in the face. Well, no matter, I suppose, Kajiwara went on at last. Just try not to wander too far. Oh, and also... Yep. Here. Please take this with you. What the heck is it? It's a bug tracker, sir. It'll beep in response to a nearby listening device. I don't need this. Okay, and nothing has changed. I just forgot. Oh yeah, actually still has a bad ending. I know why, but what's next on Osawa's? Okay, so this is about declining his plans to go to the US for his job. He judged his jaw toward the phone in the backseat console. Couldn't this wait just a little bit, sir? Osawa asked. Maybe you could still find a way out. You already know what my decision is, Makino said. His tone carried the edge of intimidation. Osawa didn't reply. He simply stared at the telephone. He felt like an insect that had all its legs plucked off. You need to think about your wife too. Makino's words were barely above a murmur. Realizing that his boss was speaking as Ai's father, Osawa couldn't bring himself to resist further. He reached out for the phone. It would be around 10 PM local time for the American firm. He decided to call his contact's personal phone. The headhunter was shocked to hear that Osawa wanted to decline the position. When he pressed for the reason behind the decision, Osawa hung up. Osawa has so little agency in his story. I actually forget the context for this bit. Whoops. Hang on. There was no way it could be that important. Osawa didn't need to listen to this clown. Sorry, but I think we're done here. Now would you please... Oh, would you please leave? Kajiura's steely expression hardened even further. But Mr. Osawa... Your life is on the line here. What? This isn't going to change anything. Just then, a pathetic gurgle arose from inside Osawa's stomach. Ah, see, Kajiura said. You are hungry. At the talk of food, Osawa realized abruptly he hadn't eaten anything since the night before. Shall I make something for you, the detective asked. This is all my fault after all. Osawa raised a curious eyebrow. Your fault? Well, you see... We ordered lunches for everyone, and it looked like there were 2 left over, so I wound up eating them. There was an awkward pause. Osawa didn't have the foggiest idea of how to respond. My deepest apologies, sir. I ate the lunches intended for you and your wife. Kajiura bowed profusely. And I really do need to apologize. They were tonkatsu bento boxes, and they were delicious. Popular menu item from the Your Lunch in a Box bento chain. Company president Chiyozu Osugi spent many years working at a famous French restaurant in Kyoto. Valuing flavour over sheer volume, he insists that each side dish in the bento box be prepared with considerable care and effort. Chiyozu is in distress after falling out with his daughter, but he simply can't forgive her eating habits, which favour volume over flavour. The meat was so tender, and the batter so crisp. Forgive me, for they were so moist. With each and every bite, the rich flavour just filled my mouth more and more. Osawa felt a blood vessel burst in his skull. So then this is what you meant when you said my life is on the line. Yes, sir. Hunger is the enemy of the mind. It interferes with your ability to make proper decisions, so you really ought to get something in your stomach. So I was too flabbergasted to reply. Right then, Mr. Osawa, please follow me to the kitchen. Okay, this is the same. It took a long time to get there, but it is the same. There's another decision here. How can you have so many decisions and so little change? Maybe it was better to just ask Tanaka to make him lunch instead. Osawa gave him a hurried phone call, and his assistant director was quick to agree. I'm having Mr. Tanaka help me here. Help me here, he told Kajiura. I read it wrong. By all means, go back to your investigation. Kajiura said. I hope you don't think I'm not inclined to help you out. Since when had helping out been Kajiura's strong suit? That's not the issue, Osawa said. It's such a shame. A friend being treated like a stranger. Oh, how I would love it if you were an actual stranger to me. While Osawa was still struggling to turn down Kajiura's assistance, Tanaka arrived, his sleeves rolled up. He'd already removed his jacket and his necktie. Alright, he said. What are we making? He sounded happy enough. Apparently he didn't mind cooking. This was a side of Tanaka that Osawa had never seen before. Oh, will you be helping out as well, Detective? Tanaka regarded Kajiwara in his apron. Of course! It's all part of my duties while I'm stationed here. Understood. Let's get started then, shall we? The pair began rummaging about the kitchen, forming an immediate bond of camaraderie. Kajiwara peered into the refrigerator. Goodness, you are remarkably understocked, he said. Let's see, could you please put these in the dinger, Mr. Osawa? The detective handed Osawa some frozen lumps of rice. You want me to help out? Of course! It is your rice after all. Osawa wasn't sure how to respond to that. Please go ahead and ding those. Ding? I'm afraid I'm not familiar with dinging. I mean heat them in the microwave oven, sir. Alright, when is it going to let me skip? But it's going to be different because Tanaka's here. Osawa stepped over the microwave. I'm just going to skip until I see anything different. I did this last time. Tanaka's not even talking. Bubble wrap first showed up on planet Earth in the 1960s. It was originally developed not as a packaging material, but as a form of wallpaper and a type of cover to prevent leaves from falling into swimming pools. These products did not sell well, however, the manufacturer instead began to market the wrap as a packing material, after which it became a hugely successful product. Here's a bowl. Perhaps you'd like to play with it. Well, Mr. Tanaka, Kajiwara said after they spent a little time working so, you probably don't need to stay any longer. Sorry for the trouble. It's quite alright, Tanaka replied. So little in the way of ingredients, I guess there wasn't much I could really do. Short of slump, he glanced over at Osawa. I'll leave this in your hands then, Detective. Sure you don't mind? Should I go out and purchase some more ingredients? No, that's fine. Thank you for all the trouble. No, I apologize for not being more helpful. Tanaka washed his hands and left the kitchen. Alright, there we go. It's quite a long scene. Wait a minute. Before I continue. Did it change anything? Wait, now Archie's way back there. How on earth did I ruin Archie's timeline? Like, did Tanaka save him or something? This is all my fault, Archie said. It was my idea to hide out here in the first place. He bowed to Hitomi repeatedly. We're never gonna find that little minivan now. Guess we'll have to get someone on the outside to help us, Hitomi replied. She scowled thoughtfully. Oh yeah, she sends a message to Tanaka. They powered their phones back on in order to call for help. The big question was who they could possibly ask. Hitomi, anyone you could reach out to? Mr. Tanaka, I suppose. Tanaka, right. The suggestion didn't exactly thrill Archie. He had no idea what this Tanaka guy was like. Hopefully he was a dependable sort who would actually show up and rescue them. But somehow, that thought made Archie feel even worse. Archie had someone he figured he could call, but he hesitated, uncertain. There had been a time when he trusted this guy more than anyone. They'd bailed each other out of countless jams. Nowadays, though, things were different. Hitomi gave Archie a puzzled look as he sat lost in thought. Right. Guess I don't have much of a choice. Archie scrolled through the contacts list on his cell phone. He found a name he thought he'd never call again. Susumu. Actually, I don't remember him doing this. Yo. Archie, is that you? Susumu's voice was low and guarded. Look, I got a favor to ask you. I'm in a real bind here. Huh? Like, things are ridiculously bad. I thought maybe you could help me out a little bit. You seriously thought I'd help you? Susumu's words were like ice. You messing me with something, man? Now he sounded a touch angry as well. Painful memories flashed before Archie's eyes. Right then. Sorry to bug you, just forget it. But Susumu hung up before Archie was even finished talking. No dice, Archie said to Hitomi with a lopsided frown. She looked back at him, her expression a mirror of his own. What should we do? What should we do? I guess we're back to Mr. Tanaka. Guess so. You want to get the go-ahead then? Okay, but why did we change it? Is this some baffling butterfly effect stuff? I don't understand. Hitomi tried calling repeatedly, but Tanaka didn't pick up. What could have happened? She muttered under her breath. Hey, Evie. You've missed nothing, by the way. I've mostly just been going through alternate timelines that are seemingly the same anyway. Do you think that maybe the kidnappers found out that Mr. Tanaka and I have been in contact? Archie shrugged. It looked like they were just going to need to find some way out of here on their own, and maybe look for the minivan themselves. Archie strode over to the door and grabbed hold of the knob. He tried giving a good sturdy pull. Ugh, no good. The thing won't even budge. That door opens outward. So, like, for some reason that I don't really understand, well, maybe actually it makes sense. Because I asked Tanaka to help with Osawa's lunch, he now can't answer the phone for Hitomi, and now they're doing something else. Wait. That door opens outward. Wait, really? Archie tried giving it a push. It still didn't open. He kicked it. The door wasn't nearly as sturdy as Archie had expected. I think I can make this work. Tanaka is Osawa's assistant, who also is in a text message relationship with Hitomi. He doesn't have a very distinct face, though. Yeah! The door went flying off its hinges. No. Kajiwara is the creeper. Actually, no. I guess like they both kind of are, but I mostly think of it as Kajiwara. Oh man, that was way too easy. Archie stepped cautiously out of the storeroom. He quickly scanned the surrounding area. There was nobody in sight. Looks like we're in the clear, he said, cold. But Hitomi didn't come out, nor did she reply. Hitomi? She had her phone in hand, apparently still trying to get in touch with Tanaka. With a tiny sigh, Archie leaned against the wall and waited for her to finish. Well? Doesn't look like I'm gonna have any luck, she said. You know we can leave right now, right? Are you still holding out for hope for your Mr. Tanaka? It's not that. I'm just a little worried. Oh yeah? Okie dokie then. I'll just wait around here. Okay, I'll be right with you. Uh-huh. Archie shuffled his way back outside. That was sudden. Oh crap. By the time Archie could finish processing the thought, he was already laid out on the ground. His jaw hit the asphalt hard. He bit the tip of his tongue clean off. The taste of blood filled his mouth. That's a chalk line pose. A moment later, he took a sharp blow to the head. He was done for. All the energy drained from his body. His mind whirled. His vision grew hazy. He began to drift from consciousness. Back when he'd run with Susumu and the others, he'd never left himself open and exposed to a surprise attack. There were plenty of times when he'd taken a punch that sent him reeling, only to spin around away and come back swinging. This time he hadn't even seen it coming. It was his last mistake. Guess I've let myself go soft. Archie grimaced inwardly, muttering in a voice no one could hear. Well, found another bad ending. Hitomi, I'm so sorry. Archie successfully managed to break out of the storeroom, only to be knocked out by the man with the cane while he waited for Hitomi. Things might have gone differently if Hitomi had managed to get in contact with Tanaka, Why hadn't he responded to her calls? Maybe something strange had happened at the Osawa residence, or perhaps there was some reason he wasn't able to answer his phone. Alright. Wait, I can't tell what it's indicating with that. I think I've picked all of them. Oh wait, no I haven't. I haven't picked the third one. So this is like... This is the fourth option in Osawa's timeline, and to my knowledge it's the only one that's mattered so far. Since Ai's lunch was gone as well, he should probably have her make something. But this is gender roles. Osawa called his wife on the intercom to make the suggestion. What's weird is, like, usually it's because, like, of something that you haven't gotten the chance to do yet. Absolutely not, she scoffed. Besides, I'm not even hungry. Roughly 1 hour ago, Osawa slipped out of the house and went to the Café Lautrec down near the train station, where she ordered the sandwiches and black tea. Hanging up the receiver, Osawa turned back to Kajiwara. Very well, detective. If you'd be so kind. Okay. Now it's the same. And now... Archie has a bad end 20 minutes later. Next. That is the last one. But Archie has a timeline jump to... Wait, no, wait, sorry, we already did that one. Let me see this jump. Like, it seems like it was wrong, like... 40. That's where I want to go. Oops. It's in Archie's timeline, actually. And that's what it is, but I swear, this is not breaking the keep out. I've already done this, so I'm not reading it. I mean, one thing I can do is I can do the other timeline for Tama. Yeah, we didn't, but I'm not sure I can because I can't seem to find the right jump. Guess this cat's staying in the bag. I can't remember if we saw her face, but we definitely saw her profile. A popular folk etymology asserts the expression "let the cat out of the bag" comes from an unscrupulous practice where certain farmers who would sell a pig at market then deceived the buyer by surreptitiously swapping out the purchased porker for a cat. The likelihood of anyone mistaking a cat, even one inside a bag, for a pig, however, is extremely low, let alone the likelihood that someone would fall for such a scheme to warrant a phrase referring to it to entering the language. I fear I'll head to the knick-knack shop as is. I can't remember, to be honest. So I'm guessing now it'll break the keep out. But I want to know how to break it for the other timeline. Wait. Now Archie doesn't have a jump. Alright then. Oh wait, yeah, of course he doesn't, because there's no cat on this timeline. Sometimes I think that maybe... Wait. Yeah, let's go here. I would do anything. Anything? Yeah, whatever it took. I'd risk my own life if it meant helping Suzune. I mean that at this point, I assume God has granted me a miracle or something, you know? It's been a while, but I still don't think it was Maria. That's too ridiculous. Wait, Mr. Tanaka? Hisomi's voice was barely a squeak. For a moment, all was silent. Maybe it's just a cat, Archie suggested. Or not. I'll just finish Archie's timeline now. Yeah, that's who Maria is. Suddenly someone hit the door hard. It sounded like they were trying to break the lock. You really think that's Tanaka? Archie asked. I'm not sure. If it were him, I think he'd probably say something. Archie grabbed Hitomi's hand. Although, the fact of the matter is that this person decided to be a killer, I'm sure, before they got a cat suit, so there's probably a killer running around. Archie grabbed Hitomi's hand. We better hide. The two of them slipped behind a large piece of plywood stage dressing. The door swung open with a loud creak. So, on the previous timeline, Tama took off her catsuit, and I think this man put the catsuit on and had blood on the suit, and he proceeded, I believe, to murder Archie. Something like that. The door swung open with a loud creak. In stepped the man with the cane. What the heck? What the heck? Archie whispered. What's he doing here? Gun drawn, the assassin prowled slowly around the storeroom. Archie and Hitomi crouched behind the plywood prop, trying not to make a sound. The man moved out of their line of sight. Archie gazed longingly at the door. Archie risked a peek around the corner of the plywood. He still couldn't see the man with the cane. The door was maybe 5 meters away. What should they do? Let's wait for a chance to escape. That sounds like the worst possible thing. No, they needed to wait for a safer chance to escape. I mean, that is what happened. Archie heard the sound of a cell phone vibrating from behind a tall piece of plywood leaning by the door. The assassin stepped out from behind it. He still hadn't spotted his quarry. I'm sure this is the place. His voice was low and confident. Uh-oh, did he have friends? Still clutching his phone, the assassin wandered deeper into the storeroom. Archie and Hitomi took the opportunity to slip out of the door. That guy almost looks like Tanaka, but surely not. No, it can't be Tanaka. Tanaka's in the house at the moment. They ran through the alleyways back towards the main road. Before they reached it, however, they suddenly found their path cut off by one of the foreigners who'd chased them earlier, the accomplice of the man with the pipe. I cannot keep up with all these, villains. He stood waiting for them, holding a knife in one hand. Out the frying pan and into the fire. If they turned back, Archie knew the man with the cane might catch up to them, and he had a gun. Archie slipped off his sleeveless jacket and wrapped it around his left arm. Finally! He's camouflaging himself somewhat. He was going to have to use his left arm to guard against the knife while punching with his right hand. He clenched his fist and braced himself. And then suddenly, he froze. Huh? A small dark silhouette dropped from somewhere up above. Landing deftly, the newcomer lunged toward the man with a knife, closing the gap between them in the blink of an eye. Ugh. The figure delivered a swift chop to the back of the man's neck. Who is this person? He dropped to the pavement like a dead man, finally giving Archie a clear view of the shadow behind him. Is that Susumu? Archie couldn't believe his eyes. It was a small-statured young woman with Middle Eastern features. How is this the right path? Damn it! I'm doing the other one next. Hitomi let out a little gasp. Kanan? I'm so bad at picking the bad ending. Oops, wrong one. Maybe if I do that, keep out, it'll unlock the other one. It sounds stupid, but maybe it'll work. They needed to just make a run for it. Archie took a firm grip on Hitomi's hand. Suddenly they heard the sound of a cell phone vibrating from beyond a tall piece of plywood leaning by the door. The assassin stepped out from behind it. If they'd made a run for it, they'd probably have bumped into him. That was a close one. Archie wiped away a few beads of cold sweat. It's not going to make a difference, damn it! Okay. That's settled. Yeah! The sales demo was over, and against all odds, I managed to get paid. Money clutched in one paw, I head to the knick-knack shop and finally buy that necklace I can't stop thinking about. Hello? Anyone here? I call out. There's no reply. Is the shopkeeper out? Just a moment! Panting, the sales clerk comes scurrying into the shop behind me. Sorry about that, I just had to pop out for a sec. Oof, you would not believe what I just saw. He leans against a pillar, gasping audibly as he tries to catch his breath. You're here about that necklace. Do you still have it? Of course. Thank you so much. I have half the money here, and the rest is in my... Oh. I suddenly remember something very important. Yep. Oh no. The sales clerk gives me a cautious look. What's the matter? My wallet, it's still in here. I pat the costume around the tummy. So why don't you just take that outfit off? Well, I mean, the zipper's kind of broken. I wouldn't be having all this trouble if I could just get it out of this damn costume. Kind of broken? It's way more broken than that. The sales clerk points me to a full-body mirror. He's right, the zipper in the back is hanging open. Taking this thing off will be a cinch now. Oh, thank you. I give him a bow. I'm not sure why you need to be thanking me, he says. I mean, she does have eyes. She can see through them. She's not blinded. No, I do. If you hadn't pointed that out, I might have just let myself stay stuck in here forever. So really, thank you so much. I bow again and again. She does look like Maria though. Hey, Aya. But if she's Maria, like, wait, what is going on? Wait, sorry, what was I going to do now? Oh yeah, I was going to see if the other timeline's open now. Come on, do not lock me off again. Do not. No! What do I do to get this ending? Is there a jump I've missed? It's not this one. That's gone too far. Alright. For all the time being, I will fix... No, I'll leave Tama's time on there. Now, where do I jump to Kano? Wait. No, I don't jump to Kano. Like, it's either some really weird, obscure combination of ending, like, of paths, or it's something on Kano's path. Oh! Wait, no, sorry. That was right. So Kano had a bad ending because of a we needed a traffic jam, which would be caused by... Not that. Not that. I mean, we're doing that. Oh, yeah, it's Archie. Yep, that's right. Oh, actually, I haven't done all of Archie's timelines either. What have I done? We're building up to Kano. Archie did his utmost to pretend he didn't notice. This isn't gonna do anything, surely. Mr. Tanaka said he's going to look for the minivan for us. Huh? He says he wants us to hide out here a little longer. What? What? No, if he just comes and lets us out, I could go look for the minivan myself. He said if someone's after me, it's safer to stay where we are. Yeah, I'm out of the running, Archie thought to himself. Okay, did nothing. I've gone through so many pointless choices today so far, so like nothing has really happened. There had to be a bunch of foreigners inside, which meant the kidnappers didn't have any intention of giving her sister back. The more Archie thought about it, the less sense it made from sending her to get her. But the question is, if Tama really is Maria, what is going on with the van? There had to be some other reason they wanted Hitomi to go to their minivan, but what? Do you think they were trying to kidnap me too? That's it! This did nothing. What if like doing all these changes the jump to 1 minute later? Archie turned to Hitomi. Let's hurry up through the door. Right now they were little more than trapped rats. But... Hitomi clutched onto Archie's arm hard. Can I help you? Can I help you with something? Said a casual voice from outside. They saw their pursuer react at once, pulling back from the... Nothing changed. Yeah, so that's... Wait. What's this one? Because I think that's the one that matters after this one. But I'm not sure what this one is. It was true that his action didn't make any sense. Yeah, he seemed more interested in taking out the man with the cane than going after you. Maybe it was a case of mistaken identity. You think so? Hitomi said. She sounded doubtful, and Archie couldn't blame her. It did seem pretty unlikely. No, for whatever reason, the foreigner had deliberately gone after the man with the cane, and it certainly hadn't been to rescue Archie and Hitomi. The enemy of one's enemy is not necessarily one's friend. The man with the cane, and those foreigners. Would Archie and Hitomi really be able to escape them all? And if they did, would they ever find Hitomi's sister? They heard a child cry out from behind them. Oh right, that's the thing. This is the same, surely. Do you think he took out the man with the cane? Hitomi's... Yeah, here we go. And now we cause the traffic incident. Hitomi! She shouted. We're going across! What? Dragging Hitomi by the hand, Archie darted out in the street. Moving purely by instinct, he wove his way in through the gaps between the speeding cars. When they were halfway across, a car slammed on its brake to keep from hitting him, causing several cars behind it to crash into one another. The multi-vehicle pileup plunged into the road into total chaos, and Final Destination 2 began. As a result of this chaos, traffic in the nearby area will be at standstill for a while. While they wait at the Syndicate hideout, Shinji Kano and Jack Stanley have gotten themselves caught in this traffic jam. Where does this go now? In a matter of moments, the street was clogged with a long line of stopped vehicles. Archie and Hitomi's pursuers remained on the other side and did not pursue. Okay, that was crazy. Hitomi pat as she caught her breath. Well, you know what they say. Idle feet are the devil's playthings. Hands. It's idle hands. Whatever. At least they gotten away. And now it's the same? Yep. Alright. I'll leave the jump alone because I don't think I need to do it. Now we finally see what Kano has done in this hour, and assumingly it's not getting ganked again. The car moved at a glacial pace toward the crime syndicate's hideout. Stanley pounded his fists on the steering wheel in frustration. They had no sooner set out than the traffic slowed to a near standstill. Despite the occasional lurch, it never crept above a crawl. Kano stewed in the passenger seat. The case was rapidly getting out of hand. Now he had to worry about the safety of both Maria and her sister Hitomi. Never mind the fact that Detective Tatano had also gone missing. There were too many unknowns, too many uncertainties. His unease was growing unbearable. Also, Tatano hasn't radioed in, and, we can't reach him from our end either. Wait, Tatano. That is, shit. Who was that again? Oh shit, it was Kuze as well. Kuze's words kept echoing inside Kano's head. What could have caused Tatano to drop out of contact? You're gonna have to be way more specific, Effie. Someone had gone after Hitomi while Kano and the others were busy trailing the attaché case. Could Tatano have been... No, it couldn't have been. Kano was sure Tatano would have done whatever is necessary to keep Hitomi safe. Exactly. Stanley broke the long silence. Oh shit, I have to remember how I voiced him. What's on your mind? Still thinking about that call from Kuze? Kano didn't answer. Look, if you're worrying about that other detective, that guy couldn't even protect one girl, Stanley continued. Not exactly a ringing endorsement. Don't you talk about Detective Tatano like that. Oh, Detective Tatano's the guy he worships. I'm concerned about Hitomi Osawa, but the missing attaché case needs to come first. Because money is worth more than people, yes. Stanley's expression remained stone cold. Kano flashed him a sidelong glare, and went back to staring out the window. A moment later, a flurry of motion in a nearby alley caught his eye. With a start, he recognized Sasayama. His fellow detective was caught up in an altercation with a man in dark clothes. Kano sprang into action, his body moving almost before his mind registered the situation. Sasayama! Flinging the door open, he leapt out of the car. Look at Stanley. Hey, wait! Stanley called after him, but Kano was already sprinting toward the fight. Oof! The other man knocked Sasayama onto a pile of garbage, which he promptly got the knick-knack shop guy to pick up. As Sasayama struggled to get back to his feet, the opponent looked down at him with a triumphant sneer. Kano finally got a good look at the man, and his eyes flashed with recognition. It was the perp who'd first taken the attaché case back at the scramble, Tariq Al-Karawin. You! Kano growled. He sped like a bullet to tackle Al-Karawin around the legs. But Al-Karawin limply stepped aside. Kano's arms closed on nothing but air. At the same moment, Al-Karawin deftly wrapped an arm around Kano's neck. Kano felt a vice-like pressure on his carotid artery. Is this that thing that was on Trivia Murder Party? A move known as the front choke sleeper hold. Constricting the carotid artery stops blood flow to the brain, causing an opponent to lose consciousness, also known as a guillotine choke. His consciousness quickly began to slip away. Oh no you don't, you bastard, he snarled. Lowering his center of gravity, he got hold of one of Al-Karawin's legs and used it as his shoulder as a fulcrum against it. Despite the arm still crushing his neck, Kano managed to lift his opponent high into the air. Oh, is that a frickin' suplex? He continued the movement to heave Al-Karawin up and over himself, slamming him upside down in the pile of trash. That would suck. Mm. Stanley strolled up to the aftermath of the struggle. Well, you've got the brawn part down, he said. Need some work on the brains. Al-Karawan was sprawled out atop the mound of refuse. He'd been knocked out cold. Sasayama coughed and sputtered. Kano went to help him to his feet, but Stanley stepped in between them. What are you doing? Stanley asked. Helping Sasayama. What does it look like? We need to apprehend Al-Karawan first. He's not even conscious. Sasayama can come first. He pushed Stanley aside and crouched down alongside his partner. Are you alright? He asked. Yeah, Sasayama groaned. You bailing me out though? Can't let the missus know about that. Mum's the word, Kano said. He slipped an arm underneath Sasayama and helped him to his feet. I managed to find the guy who had the attaché case, Sasayama said. But when I tried to arrest him, this fella came out of nowhere and attacked me. So it's a different person. That fence that is under the word tried is so perfectly horizontal, kind of like my horizontal lines in Scriblio, that it like looks like it's two pictures. I don't know about anyone else, but it's like really unsettling. He flashed Al-Karawan a nasty look. So here we go again, disobeying direct orders, Stanley huffed. I'm not salty about it, I find it funny. What's the deal with Japanese police anyway? Oh shit, he's racist. He shook his head in exasperation. Sasayama gave Kano a puzzled look, jerking his thumb at the American. Who's this guy? It's a long story, Kano said. He filled Sasayama in on the situation. But don't you draw like a... what do you call it? A different thing? Enough chit-chat. Hurry up and cuff this guy, Stanley said. Kano knelt down at Al-Karawan's unconscious body, flipped him over, and proceeded to cuff his hands behind his back. Kano paused. A tablet? I thought it was. Or is that like what you can only do in the other drawing game? Kano paused. Al-Karawan's sleeve had been slid back from his wrist. It revealed a Fenrir tattoo. What's this? Yeah, maybe it's easy to draw straight lines of a mouse. The unconscious man had a tattoo of a two-headed scorpion on his left forearm. Stanley strode over. You find something? He asked. Yes, I think this guy might be the ringleader. Seeing the image had reminded Kano of something he'd heard back at headquarters, that the head of the foreign syndicate had a scorpion tattoo. He relayed this information back to Stanley. I see. Stanley called up Kuze on his cell. You'll be happy to know that the guy with the attaché case is still at large, he said. Apprehending the ringleader at this point shouldn't be an issue. One of your so very capable subordinates gave us a big step forward in the case here. Wait a second, Sasayama muttered. That was sarcasm, wasn't it? Stanley hung up and called over to him. Think you can escort this guy back to the precinct? Yeah, sure, seeing how very capable I am. I know I stressed the wrong word. For some reason, it just makes me... I do the wrong word and I can't help it. Kano felt his phone vibrate. The display showed an incoming call from Rumi. Hello? He answered warily, keeping his voice down. Stanley had him a little on edge. It's me. It was Shizuo. Damn it! Kuze thought. He did not have time for this right now. Oh wait, Shizuo, shit. But if you just hung up, it might not even... he might be even deeper... well... Kano. Hung up. Kano hung up the phone. It promptly rang again, however. Sorry, father-in-law, I really can't talk. I'm in the middle of work right now. I'm not your father-in-law. Ah, sorry. Anyway, bye. Kano bowed politely to his mental image of Rumi's irate father as he hung up once more. Oh no, my experiences with scratchies are not good. From Jackbox. The phone rang yet again. Sir, I'm sorry, I really am in the... Mr. Endo, this is Dr. Saiki, colleague from Shibuya Central Hospital. Huh? This wasn't Shizuo. Ken didn't recognize the voice at all. Mr. Endo, are you there? Ah, sorry. I think you have the wrong number. Oh, my apologies. I'm in a bit of a hurry. I must have missed out. The caller hung up. I remember I had to like scratch money, and I like immediately scratched a skull. Who the heck was that? He stared in incredulity as the phone rang once more. Oh, this is terrible. Whoever it was, they were shouting frantically. Once again, whoever it wasn't Shizuo. Wait, Hannah. Oh, it's the old man. Hannah and I, we got separated. What? Who? I don't know what to do. It doesn't matter if I get away. I don't know what to do. It doesn't matter if I get away if they wind up catching Hannah. Please, you have to help me find her. The man on the other end of the line sounded like he was on the verge of tears. Kenna wasn't sure what it was all about, but the guy was pretty clearly in a bad way. Please, Minoriko, I'm begging. Everyone has the wrong number. Huh? I'm sorry, sir. I think you have the wrong person. But by the time Kano had gotten the words out, the man had already hung up. Hey, come on, let's go. Wait, has that changed Minorikawa's timeline? It hasn't. Stanley's words snapped Kano out of his daze. Ugh. Grimly, he followed the American back to the car. I wonder if Stanley's gonna get likable. Yet again, Stanley was thumping the steering wheel in frustration. Traffic hadn't let up one bit. It was starting to look like they might never make it to this foreign syndicate's hideout. Kano caught sight of a girl in a hoodie weaving her way between the stopped cars on foot. He rolled down the window and called out to her. Miku... Miku. Marita was a fighter at the cosplay fighting pub Bride, but just decided to retire after losing to Tama the cat in a street fight. She's thinking about what to do with herself now. Alright, so I need to remember to change it to what happens if Tama doesn't fight her. And see what changes in this timeline. Excuse me, miss. Did something happen? Huh? What do you mean? With the road, I mean. What's with all the traffic? Oh, right. Apparently there was some big accident over by the train station. That's probably what's causing it. Really? Yeah, I don't think you guys are going to go anywhere for quite a while. She smiled and went on her way. Stanley gave the steering wheel another punch. Well, I guess they did say this wasn't just a typical ransom case, he muttered. Kano saw an opportunity. If they're not after the money, then what are they after? Stanley kept his eyes forward, acting as if he hadn't heard. Look, Kano said, I can't help you if you keep me out of the loop. After a few moments of thought, Stanley replied with a single monosyllable. Drugs. What? Maria's father, Kenji Osawa. I assume you're aware he works for Rikoshi Pharmaceutical. I am. Nothing's been made public yet, but Osawa recently saw the development of a new drug. It's not at all uncommon for a new drug to be in development for 15 years or more with expenses totaling 20 to 30 billion yen, roughly 200 to 300 million US dollars, before it is approved. Worldwide demand and sensational profits can be expected if a groundbreaking medicine is developed. Nevertheless, pharmaceutical companies are often under major pressure due to the tremendous cost of labour and equipment. And someone is trying to get their hands on it. Kano's mind latched onto this new information, trying to assemble the pieces of an evolving puzzle. Someone? Who? An international criminal mastermind. This foreign syndicate is merely a tool in someone else's game. Kano regarded Stanley's face carefully. It looked more cold and serious than ever. So wait, does this mean that the reason we're letting this syndicate walk around unfettered is on my orders? Yes. I see. So the only thing you're really concerned with is catching this international mastermind? Precisely. Kano felt like he was starting to get a picture of what sort of person Stanley was. So you don't really care about what happens to the girl who's been abducted, do you? Not particularly, no. Why? Do you have a problem with that? Kano clenched his fists. His hand was shaking with anger. Dictum number 8. When you really want to punch something, you really probably shouldn't. Kano recited the words inwardly like some sort of desperate mantra. If he didn't manage to calm himself down, he was liable to slam his fist right into Stanley's face. Outside the car, the traffic remained at a standstill. Kano chafed against a feeling of utter futility. One after another, his uncertainties came to nag at him. Was Maria still safe? What had happened to Tomis and Tatano, her bodyguard? And now, on top of all this, it struck Kano rather carelessly to send Sasayama away with Okawaran without any backup, now that Jack had alerted them to the presence of a dangerous international mastermind still on the loose. Fighting back his fit of pique, Kano got out his cell phone. To do something impulsively out of irritation, resentment, or the like, similar to doing something in a huff. He can dial up Kajiwara. Sure. He dialed up Detective Kajiwara, who was stationed at the Osawa residence. He hoped a little more information about the family's two daughters might have shed some light on the situation. Was Kajiwara making lunch at the moment? Detective answered promptly. Kajiwara here! Hey, it's Kano. Kano? A horrid jarring beeping was audible from the other end of the line. What's that noise? Kano asked. Sorry, hold on, I can't really hear you. Okay, go on. Yeah. It sounded like Kajiwara had moved away from the source of the noise, though Kano could still hear it faintly in the background. He explained that he was looking for more info on the Osawa girls. Honestly, Detective Kano, I thought you were more mature than this, Kajiwara said disapprovingly. Come again, Kano said, bewildered. What's with that attitude all of a sudden? You've got a little crush, don't you? Kajiwara told him. What? No, Detective, that isn't why. You mustn't let yourself get personally attaché case to an investigation. Still, I was young and impulsive myself once. I guess I can tell you one thing. Kano kept his cell phone pressed tight against his ear. Wait, what is the cardboard box? I don't recall this. The two girls, they look exactly alike. Kajiwara kept his voice low as if he was revealing a major secret. But Kano knew this already. Everyone assigned to the investigation had been informed the girls were twins at the previous night's briefing. However, Kajiwara continued, still sotto voce, their personalities are pretty different. The younger sister, Hitomi, is quiet and reserved, but Maria's apparently more of a busybody. I see. Kano thought back on Hitomi standing in front of the statue of Hachiko. She indeed seemed like an introvert, though Kano had also sensed her intense commitment to helping her sister. Perhaps she was less demonstrative, but her heart certainly seems to be in the right place. Why? Kano heard someone shouting in the background wherever Kajiwara was. What was that just now, he asked. Mr. Osawa, the girl's father, I think something might have happened. Kajiwara's voice was laced with concern. I should go see what all this is about. Yeah, probably. But Kano, tell me. Yes. Which one is it? Which one do you have a crush on? Kano hung up. Alright, I wonder if Osawa's timeline doesn't work anymore. It doesn't. I'm just going to go back to this one now. So, I guess Kajiwara doesn't tell him about give him the bug tracker. I don't know. Mr. Osawa, it's Kajiwara! Wait. Perfect timing. Osawa hurried to let the detective into the study. The bug track is picking up signals! The bug track is picking up signals. Oh! Yes, from all over the room. What should I do? Mr. Osawa, please calm down. Oh, then maybe I shouldn't know, because I do want to see all those games eventually. As if that were even possible right now. It feels like there must be 10, no, at least 100 listening devices in here. Kajiwara didn't miss a beat. Let me be honest with you, that bug tracker is... All of a sudden, a different noise cut in from over the bug tracker. Kajiwara here? Kano? Kajiwara's customary nonchalant expression vanished into a sudden seriousness. Sorry, hold on, he continued. I can't really hear you. He headed out of the room, the phone clutched to his ear. Osawa was left to wonder what the detective had been about to tell him. The bug tracker was what? What the heck was going on? Dramatic irony. The sound wasn't stopping. Deciding that he'd better do something, Osawa took the bug tracker and checked behind the bookcase. It didn't seem that the signal was coming from back there. He proceeded to pull each and every one of the books off the shelf. Nothing. He checked the area around his computer. He scanned the monitor, the case, the power outlet, but he found nothing that could be a listening device anywhere. He found a small screwdriver and dismounted the mouse. The brown circuit board was lined with chips, but nothing appeared out of the ordinary, and still the mechanical sound continued, mocking him. Just try to find it. Go ahead, look everywhere. Beep, 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 beep. He was being ridiculed. The sound just wouldn't stop, and still the time ticked past. Had it been 5 minutes, 10, maybe more? He began to lose hope that he could find the listening device and even stop caring. No way would Kajiwara not return. He's obsessed with Osawa. He's the Kappa pride right now. Instead, he was overcome with the feeling that this room, which for years had been his sanctuary, had ceased to be in his own. It was as if something other had intruded and laid to claim his personal space. In his fevered mind, he began to hear the tracker's sound at a high-pitched laugh, and a cursed, relentless noise. Is he gonna like jump out the window or something? Cruel and taunting, the mockery of the devil himself. Osawa hurled the bug tracker against the wall. Then he picked it up, only to smash it back onto the floor. Then he stomped on it ferociously. There was a satisfying snap accompanied by the sensation of the thing being crushed underfoot. Surely it would stop more suddenly than that. The noise stopped, or well, it ought to have. And yet for some reason the horrid noise kept sounding in Osawa's ears. It wasn't coming from the bug tracker at all. It was inside his own head. Somewhere, inescapable. This is horrible. Echoing of his skull. No, the noise didn't stop. It only grew louder. Why? 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 Osawa screamed. Why was he being tormented like this? He couldn't take it anymore. He couldn't even think straight anymore. He felt his mind beginning to dissolve. Oh, at least it's not brainwash. I wouldn't understand that. The incessant beeping from the bug tracker wound up driving Osawa out of his mind. What Kajiwara was about to say just before he got that phone call was pretty crucial for Osawa to hear. Unfortunately, the call distracted him, and he left the room before he could finish his thought. Things could have gone differently if only someone hadn't called Detective Kajiwara right then. Okay. Now we return. Wait, sorry. I guess that doesn't affect Kano's timeline, but let's call Sasayama. Or no, let's not. I'll do that after. Just in case I find like a jump that isn't on the other timeline. At long last, the traffic began to move again. Almost as soon as it did, however, Stanley had to slam on the brakes. Everyone is just in this timeline currently. A frantic-looking man had jumped down in front of the car. Whoa, hey, what the hell are you doing? Kano sputtered. The stranger plastered his face against the passenger side window. Also, what is he doing at this time? I thought he was in the building. Open it up, he shouted. Open the door. The guy showed every sign of a total panic. Junichi Yanagishita. Something happened just after he parted ways with Minorikawa, and now he's running this way, and in quite a panic at that. Don't do it, Stanley warned. Kano hesitated. It wasn't like they could just drive off with his fellow clinging to the car. Please, you gotta help me. The man slipped his fingers in through the gap in the window, trying to force it open further. Help me! Whoa, hold on. What's your deal? Help me! So just tell me what... Help me! Look, up ahead, Stanley exclaimed suddenly. Kano whipped his head around. There, walking along the sidewalk, was Alko Oren, very much not in custody. Holy shit, what's going on? What the hell? Kano tried to jump out of the car, but the frantic stranger had gotten his upper body wedged in the window and the door wouldn't open. What if he's also a twin? Stanley, his usual steely expression replaced with a look of shock, exited on the driver's side and went after Al Caron himself. Kano shouted at the man in the window. Alright, get in! Get in! If the guy was that desperate to get inside, Kano wasn't about to stop him. Besides, he needed to get the guy to calm down and let go of his arm. Uh-oh! The man yelped. Let go, let go! He was the one holding on. Why was he demanding to be let go? What the hell is going on? Just as Kano's thought was forming, this crazed stranger was yanked back out of the car, dragging Kano with him. Oh, it's the debt collector's ship. A pair of rough-looking men had grabbed him by his lower body. No, no, he screamed. I can't do 80 days hard labor. Somehow he was still managing to cling to the car door. Just give it up and let go already, snarled one of the assailants. The pair shifted their grip and pulled even harder. Kano heard the sound of tearing fabric as the two toughs tumbled backward. Oh, that's the scene. The guy on the left's face, he is enjoying it so much. Just like that, the crazed stranger was stripped down to his boxes. He let out a pathetic wail. Oh man! The two toughs burst into uproarious laughter at the sight. Now's our chance! One of them managed to sputter. The pantsless man snatched up his ruined garment and bolted like a startled hare. To dart off incredibly quick, in a manner of a fleeing rabbit. Yanagishi runs a lot more like a rat than a rabbit though. Still cackling madly, his two pursuers rushed after him. Wait, remind me what the thing is with Catherine and Catherine Classic, because I think Catherine Classic is on discount on Steam right now. Kano was still staring dumbstruck at the spectacle, and Stanley returned to the car. No luck. I lost track of him. This doesn't make any sense, Kano said, forcing himself to refocus on the cane. I see. So which is... I mean, I guess... Wait. I can't tell. It could go either way. Al Caron was taken back to the precinct. What's he doing walking free? Stanley gave him a dubious look. Have you seriously not figured it out yet? He asked. Or is this some kind of strange Japanese joke I'm not getting? What are you talking about? Kano replied. Do you know something I don't? I see. And so does that mean that non-classic full body is better in every way, or is it like a Final Fantasy VII of situation where there's advantages to both? Evidently I do. Your detective Sasayama let him go on purpose. That's the only explanation. Enraged at the suggestion, Kano took a swing at him, but Kano coolly caught his fist. It's not me you should be punching, the American warned. It's Sasayama. Oh no. Kano radioed Kuze on the wireless. So, Sasayama was supposed to bring Tariq Al-Kawarin to the headquarters. What's going on? It would appear that Detective Tatano has gone rogue. Tatano? Okay. Kuze replied with chagrin. Wait, what? Kano was sure he'd misheard. What did Tatano have to do with any of this? But my question is, like, does that mean that both are, like, valid purchases or something? We've received eyewitness account. Someone saw him allowing this to go free. The tip the police got came from Minoru Kawa on the request of a knick-knack shop owner Tasei Yasuda in the wake of the interview about the surveillance cameras. In their related account, Minoru Kawa described a man who appeared to be a detective speaking to a foreigner in the handcuffs behind a precinct before the detective let them uncuff the man and let him go. Shit, I forgot about that. No, it can't be. Sasayama was able to back up the account too, Kuze added. He said he handed the alcohol over to Tatano. Where's Detective Tatano right now? We don't know that, Kuze said. Or just what the hell is going on? Look, I don't have time to talk right now. You can't find. Stanley let out a like chuckle. I see. Looks like you had a traitor in your midst. I see now. Kano grabbed him by the collar. Stanley snorted. What are you trying to pull here? Tell me what you know, Kano snapped. All I did was state the facts. Look, I watched that man risk his life to talk down a would-be arsonist. He's a dyed-in-the-wool detective. He'd never betray anybody. I see, Stanley muttered. Then he's the real deal. Kenneth stood in surprise. He expected an argument. Good, he said. I'm glad we're on the same page. Tatano risked his life in order to get people to trust him. He's a dyed-in-the-wool spy, is what he is. Kenneth didn't have words. His clenched fists trembled once more. He fumbled his cell phone again. He dialed Tatano's number. The phone rang 5 times but failed to connect. There has to be a reason for this, Kano muttered. Tatano must know something we don't. Really now, Stanley scoffed. And what makes you so sure of that? Because Detective Tatano was sure this kidnapping wasn't about the ransom. Kano's mind drifted back to 9 o'clock that morning. Ahead of their stakeout of the scramble, he was walking with Tatano for the Holes of Rouge precinct. We're going to do a bang-up job out there, Detective Tatano, he chirped. He was maybe a little too excited about getting to take part in such a major case. Tatano patted Kano on the back. You need to take a step back. You're not letting yourself see the forest for the trees. No worries, Evie. Thanks for coming along. Enjoy your sleep. What do you mean, sir? What I mean is this is no ordinary kidnapping. Tatano's words triggered a little revelation. You're talking about the location for this ransom handoff, aren't you? Kano said. This makes sense for the criminals to pick such a major intersection. Oh wow. maybe I should get Oya into the stream as well. So she's just talking about her own streams. I actually was tempted to tell Oya about the Eliza streams. Oh, but then I'm gonna vote for chapter 2, right? No, but it's not on the list. It doesn't count. Because I was tempted to say like, oh, now we can make fun of Effie as the person streaming the visual novel, who can't find the continue button. I just want to see. I feel like Effie doesn't know about a certain god in Hinamizawa, and I'm waiting for the revelation when that comes up. Actually, to be honest, Effie, I didn't want. It wasn't a big thing, but like I also like took a moment for that. Not anywhere near as long as you did, but it did take me a moment to find that continue button. Obviously the lesson is that you should follow Effie Merriott on Twitch. Otherwise I could just like message you if I saw she's streaming and you're online. But then again, she usually streams at like 10 PM, which I think is usually before you're available. I'm not sure. Warmer, Tatano said. Kano frowned inwardly. He had been so sure that was the answer. It's GMT. It's like 2 hours before my stream started. That's not GMT. I think it's like 2 PM GMT. I'll check now. No, it's wait, it's a bit before that. So I'm 8 hours ahead. Yeah, so it's 2 PM. Yeah. Have you thought about why they asked to have her sister make the handoff? Can have thought some time more before answering. Because women are easy to deal with, he suggested. Colder. If that was the case, why not pick the mother? No, what worries me is the fact that the Osawa girls are twins. Alright. But yeah. She's also gone halfway through Eliza. They're having us send someone to the handoff who looks identical to the girl they kidnapped. What's going to happen when we do that? What is going to happen, sir? Kano asks. I'm not sure yet, but I have a feeling the kidnapper's plans hinges on it. Is it because of, what's her name's awesome music, obviously? The two exited through the precinct's main entrance, or is it because, Raina is a skeeve? The two exited through the precinct's main entrance. Up ahead, rows of buildings stood tall against a backdrop of bright blue sky. Tatano let out a quiet sigh. To think that so many terrible things are happening out there on such a beautiful day. Solve one case and another's waiting, he went on. As always, what is it about people that drives them to do such horrible things? A girl, abducted out of pure greed. When I think of how her parents must feel, I almost can't bear it. They made their way toward the scramble. Tatano continued talking in a quiet voice. But also, like, by following Effie, you can also see more great content from me, because, like, most Saturday nights we're usually playing, like, Scriblio and golf and shit, and just general buffoonery ensues. And, like, I made a Higurashi reference in Scriblio and no one got it. Obviously. My father was a raging alcoholic. The house was always a complete mess. He was loud, violent, never had any money, always reeked of booze. My mother, she would cry and cry. I was afraid to come home. Every day I stayed out playing as late as I possibly could manage. Kano could hear the pain in Tatano's voice. Usually like a bunch of us are streaming, I just choose not to because I can't be bothered dealing with like my own channel. Like, it's hard enough keeping track of 2 chats. The life took too much of a toll on my mother. She died when I was still in grade school. And my father, he just got worse. I was there with him at the end, after he'd wasted away to almost nothing. Not the sort of childhood I'd ever wish on anybody. It sounds like you really went through a lot. Kano hated himself for uttering such an empty platitude, but he had no idea what else to say. Kano, as old as I am, I still don't really know what it is to be happy. I think that probably because I've never known what it is like to have a happy family. Tatano sounded so forlorn. The only happiness I know is to protect other people's happiness. Kano heard those words of soul of a true detective. I don't have a Tatano voice, so I've just been kind of just reading it. I just hope you're ready. Yeah, anyway, yeah. Later. Maybe we'll both see you tomorrow. I assume you're doing Eliza tomorrow. I just hope you're ready. Kano did his best to keep his voice as calm and level as he could, lifting up his clenched fist. Because if I find proof that Tatano is innocent, I'm planting this right in your jaw. Stanley just cracked a wry smile. Also, oh yeah, I got all the achievements in Opus Magnum. Oh, I mean today. Wink, wink. The traffic had finally diminished, and they rapidly drew close to their destination. The syndicate's hangout was in Tomigawa, in the southwest of Yoyogi Park. To be fair, I'm lying with time zones because the title of this stream says the Tetris ticket's on Friday, but it's literally on Saturday. It's just at midnight. But I'll be streaming Tetris 99 on Friday night probably. It'll be fun. The ratty building looked like something. It might. Oh, we're back here. The Black Lodge sign out front looked deliberate and ominous. And we're almost at the end of his hour. Kano knew the place as a bar frequented by expats from various countries, as well as a hotbed of criminal activity. I kind of want to stop here just because I want to try his other thing first and see if I can unveil something. Wait, that jump point was Minorikawa, yeah. Archie is still in a bad end. Because I need... Wait. Ooh! That's 120 hours of quarantine content right there. Wait, what did I do to ruin... Oh, it's because Osawa has a bad end. It means he has a bad end for the same reason. That is like, who would have thought Kano, Cole and Kajiwara would kill two people? He dialed up Sasayama. He wanted to make sure his partner had gotten Aokara back to the precinct safely. Also, I think this week I should be getting all of chapters 3 and 4 of Higurashi manga. Also, like, I mean, I wish the manga was a little less skeevy with Mion. Like, it feels like the start of every book is just this weird breast shot. It's like, really, why are they doing this? She's underage. Don't do this. He wanted to make sure his partner had gotten Aokara back to the precinct safely. It's in the second one as well. Like as soon as she meets up with Keiichi, it's basically the same thing. Sasayama picked up that almost right away. Keno, what's up? Wait, Keno, what's up? How are things on your end? Any problems getting Aokara back? No, I've got Tadano keeping care of it. Oh, also I should try, what happens if Minorikawa says something different? I think you could do that? Wait, what? Keno could hardly believe this is. You're in touch with Tatano? Yes? He could hear the shock of his own voice. Yeah, just bumped into him over the precinct a little while ago. Then he is safe. Keno felt a surge of relief. What about Hitomi then? Stanley glanced over him, curious. Tatano says he lost track of her somehow. And then he got called back to the precinct apparently. Tatano had lost track of her? That's not like him, Keno thought. Since he was heading back there anyway, I handed that guy over to him. I see. Keno was glad to hear that Tatano was alright, but his relief was tempered by a surge of anger at the thought of what had happened to Hitomi. What if it's just like, it's extremely, like, it's skeevy, but it's like to suggest something, like, that Mion has feelings for Keiichi. I'm not going to comment spoilers. Also, speaking of spoilers, less than 2 weeks to go. Kano was glad to hear that Tatano was alright, but his relief... Oh yeah, we mentioned that. Now I'm back to tailing the attaché case, Sasayama continued. Today's my wife's birthday, you know. My plan is to wrap all this up ASAP so we can celebrate it tonight. I've already got a present and everything. I envy you, man. Closing his eyes, Kano took a moment to picture Rumi, but Shizuo's face popped into his mind's eye, right alongside her. Well, just hang in there, buddy. Even if your girlfriend is just a picture of just hang in there, buddy. Even if your picture is just a picture of Masami Nagahami. I'm actually kind of surprised that Sasayama didn't turn up in a new outfit since he went back to the precinct. Midoriyama Academy graduate and national celebrity, her popularity shows no sign of slowing down after she's played the female lead in such films as The Beast, The Hoarded Gold, The Heart of the World, and The Swidden Fortress. There's another nationally famous actress with the same name, but it is a nationally known fact that the two are completely separate people. I guess. Maybe it is... I mean, it's like... Is this Ryokushi's, like... This was what he wanted all along. He wanted more breast shots of underage girls. Still snickering, Sasayama hung up. Kano bit his lip and slipped his phone back into his pocket. Or maybe they just thought it would sell more copies. I don't know. At long last, the traffic began to move again. Almost as soon as it did, however, Stanley had to slam on the brakes. Okay. Can I change... Wait. What's this jump? Oh yeah, Minorikawa. Can I change Minorikawa's timeline so that, the thing with Tatano changes? Or was that in the previous hour that he was talking about that? I I feel so wholesome that when you said not teens, I thought, oh, you mean like what's her name? Shit, I can't think of her name now. The nurse girl. Okay, it was not in this hour, so it doesn't matter. No, no, I mean, you're not wrong. It's bugging me that I can't think of a name. Wait. File number. It's like her name is like a number. I can't even think of I can't even think of the. Yeah, Takanote. Ah, it's like an. I'm so dumb. Hang on, wait, but this timeline's changed now? Oh, it would be, yeah, because of because we had the conversation now. Oh, it's like I was reading the manga, but I haven't read up to the part where she actually shows up. So I have no reason to remember her name. And like I have so many Japanese names to remember in this game, especially since I made a flowchart for them. I had to look a bunch of them up. Your detective Tutano let him go on purpose. That's the only explanation. Enraged at the suggestion, Kano took a swing at him, but Stanley coolly caught his fist. It's not me you should be punching, the American woman. It's Tutano. This is still basically the same, but I'll see where it goes different. Abashed, Kano radioed up Kuze on the wireless. Yep. Just skip until it sees it's different. Still seems like the same. There we go. So now, once again, before I continue, let's see all these options. Kano shouted at the man in the window. Stanley, wait! Kano called out. It didn't appear that Stanley had heard him though. Kano tried to shake free and get through the driver's side, but the guy was still clung on for dear life. Seriously, knock it off. Then suddenly, the man was yanked back through the window from behind. A pair of rough-looking men had grabbed him by his lower body. No, he screamed. I can't do 80 days out. Is this going to be the same? It is. But what about the other option? I know I could have just scrolled up for the text as well. Get out of the way! But no matter how hard Kano tried to push him back, the guy wouldn't stop trying to force his way back. Come on, man. Suddenly, we're getting further and further apart. Seriously, knock it off. And suddenly the man was yanked back. Okay. Now, I will continue his story. And finally finish this hour, even though I'm extremely bothered I haven't found Tama's other timeline. I kind of want to look it up. The Ratty building, yeah. Kano knew the place as a bar he frequented from X. expats from various countries, as well as a hotbed of criminal activity. I'll take point, Stanley said. You back me up. He pulled a handgun from his suit pocket. It was a compact Glock, a model frequently used by the FBI and CIA. Kano drew his own gun, and the two cautiously made their own way inside. I feel like that's the only ending I'm missing too. At the end of the hallway was a wooden door. Stanley signaled with his eyes. Kano took a tiny nod, and Stanley kicked the door in. A stench of blood hit them as soon as they stepped inside. Kano let a startled gasp. There were nearly a dozen bodies sprawled across the floor. Except it doesn't feel like progress because I've already seen this before. He recognised them all. They were men who'd participated in the repeated attaché case handoffs. Each appeared to have been stabbed in the back. Stabbed to death. I'm good at reading. Stanley took a closer look. The blood's not fully dried. These guys weren't killed that long ago. Kano quickly scanned the bar at a high and low. There was no sign of a killer in hiding. There was no trace of Maria either. One of the fallen men let out a faint strained groan. Hey, Kano called out. Stay with us. He hunched down beside the wounded man. This is 1 p.m. Are you looking it up? I wouldn't be opposed. A brief gurgle rose from the man's throat. He was clearly struggling to say something, but his voice was too garbled, too indistinct for Kano to make out any coherent words. Kanan. Hey, I know that name. What was that? It must be like his daughter, because he kind of looks a bit Middle Eastern, I'm not sure. I could even get the number for you, maybe? So 25, 27, 28, 34. There's a lot actually. Maybe it isn't possible. Yeah, 34, 32, 33, 31, 30. Wait, so 27, 28. Missing 29. Yeah, I think it's ending number 29. Oh, actually, no it isn't. We've got 29. It's ending 26? No, ending 26 is probably on Kano's line. It doesn't look like there is a third ending on Tama's end, so maybe this is something different. Or maybe it's just a bug. I don't know. It doesn't match up to these numbers. That's interesting. Maybe if I'll just do this but then also, how will Kano get another bad ending? Because I feel like I did everything possibly wrong I could. Maybe if I purposely set everyone else's times wrong, except for Archie, because he needs to fix it, something will just instinctively... Oh, right. If what's-her-name doesn't meet up, then Kano won't get the realization or something in the traffic. So, go to Tama. It's time for some... It seems like it's a bug or something, I don't know. So now Kano's time should be different. Wait, Kano gets a bad ending at a different time. But it's the same bad ending. That's interesting. Forget it. Let's just finish this hour. Hang on, let me just have another think about this. So, what could go wrong? I don't know. I'll just pick Minorikawa because I can't remember how it has ended. Apart from, like, it seemed like his was going good, everyone else is on a cliffhanger though. Oh yeah, no, his was not going good. All these cliffhangers, it's like 5 soap operas at once. Alright, time to look away from the screen even though it's probably not much of a spoiler if the last one was anything to go by. I can actually see OBS in the corner of my eye, but I can't read it. Deadly preposition. Okay, then there's no doubts about it. Alright. No, I don't know, I think I prefer not to though. I think because I've spent so long with all these other timelines today, I think it's Minorikawa's turn. No! Minorikawa's cry of despair echoed throughout the cafe. His laptop monitor stared back at him, black and empty. Don't you know me, buddy? He jabbed his finger sharply at the screen. But the computer gave no response, looking well and truly dead. What the hell? Minorikawa pounded his fist on the table. This would be a worst case scenario even if you weren't desperately pressed for time. Guess I'll just have to wrap our hand then. He rummaged around in his bag and pulled out a notebook. I can still do this, he shouted, doing his best to psych himself up for the task ahead. I will still do this! Excuse me, sir? The waitress appeared timidly behind him. What? Minorikawa snapped, his pen still flying across the paper. Sir, if you could please quiet down. My damn computer just broke! I'm allowed to scream or two! Minorikawa was in no state of mind to be quiet. If it weren't for the deadline he was racing to meet, he'd probably have gone on screaming until he passed out. Your computer is broken, you say? The waitress peered at the monitor. Yeah, look. It just suddenly stopped playing anything. Could it be the battery is just dead? Minorikawa sat bolt upright. That's it! You know, I thought the battery was out, and I didn't want to say it at the time. But the waitress flinched as Minorikawa's finger jabbed towards her face. I hadn't considered that possibility. Hey, let me plug it in somewhere. There's an outlet right here, sir. She pointed an outlet by Minorikawa's feet, making no attempt to hide her exasperation. Minorikawa plugged it into the power cable and the monitor sprang to life as normal. So, now that's sorted, would you please be quiet, sir? Don't talk to me, you're interfering with my writing. Minorikawa's fingers had already begun dancing across his keyboard. With a sigh, the waitress disappeared back into the kitchen. Oh yeah, now we're talking. His fingers picked up speed as he went about touch typing. The act of typing a keyboard without looking at the keys, the aspiration of computer novices everywhere. The typical method involves placing the index fingers on the F and J keys, with the middle ring and pinky keys resting on the A, S, D, or K, L, and semicolon keys, to either side of which all other keys can easily be reached. With practice, touch typers can distinctly hit the correct key every time without looking. I mean, I can do it. It took me years, but I can do it. The pros and cons of surveillance and cameras. Propriety of electronic shops overseas high-tech camera system. Better than bugging this railers Drink sale demo. Bankrupt organizer remains undiscouraged. Now Minorikawa's spirits were riding high. His riding rolled around at a brisk pace. Sir? Yeah, mine have it too, like they have a little divot. I guess it's nice for people who are blind. Sir! How what? Has the President of the United States agreed to give me a one-on-one interview? The waitress's eyes went wide with confusion. Huh? Because unless it's something that important, do not speak to me right now. She was undeterred. So please, if you could be just a little quieter. Norikawa's fingers ceased their rattling across the keys. Just what sound do you have a problem with? All I've been doing is writing a copy. Well, for the last while actually, you've been talking to while you write, sir. Talking? Norikawa tilted his head in confusion. Yes, sir, you've been talking about an electronics store and some bogus weight loss drink. I assume that's what you're writing about. You're saying I've been narrating my copy out loud as I'm writing it? That's right, sir. Other customers sitting nearby were openly snickering. Well, so what? He said. He was red in the face right now. You should be delighted that you get to hear what I'm writing before the magazine goes to print. Well, actually, sir, one of our customers has been complaining. Complaining? Wait, is there anyone I recognise here? That's not, Kano's girlfriend and girlfriend father-in-law, I think. I mean, like, when I was a kid, one of my favourite things to do was play the typing computer game at lunchtime, which is really lame. But I was a two-fingered typer then, and I was typing about 19 words per minute. And eventually I brought that up to 23 at two-fingered typing. But I don't know when, but I eventually started touch typing, and I can now type at like 80 words per minute, if not 100. It's really handy. Of all the who was it? Where are they? Minorikawa scanned the other patrons, many of whom were unsuccessfully trying to hide their laughter. It was me. It was the grumpy older fellow who'd been making a scene earlier. Bogus diet fads, peeping security cameras. Reminds me of that sleepy tabloid 4-star general gossip I hate so much. Oh, you sort of seem to know a lot about something for something you hate so much. The man's face twisted up with scorn. Your behaviour is bothering everyone in here, he said. Do you not understand that? No, I don't. Humph. Guess a reporter who writes nothing but nonsense prefers nonsense in everything he does. Minorikawa could feel his blood boiling. What was that? Go on, say it again. Oh, gladly. Nonsense. Filth. Codswallop. Flim-flam. You bastard! How dare you! Minorikawa stormed over to the man's table. Flim-flam indeed. Bogus or insincere content. Few things anger Minorikawa more than reporters using dishonest means to create a story. Having his own work called Flim-flam would naturally make him blow his top. I'm just like... He's reached like... Wait, there's someone he's knocked over. I just noticed that. Just who are you calling Flim-flam? The other man who stood up and glowered in Minorikawa's face. You utterly lack any manners or sense of decency, for starters. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to do the other call for Kano. Back up a moment. I forgot about this one. Maybe this is it. Damn it, Kano thought. He did not have time for this right now, but if he hung up, he might be in deeper hot water. Kano decided he better listen to what the old man has to say. Hello, sir. I'm afraid I'm not really at liberty to take a personal call right now, even if it's from my father-in-law. He did his best to sound apologetic. I'm not your father-in-law. Yeah. Ah, yes, of course. Sorry, sir. He bowed his head reflexively, feeling like an idiot. You really don't give a damn about keeping me waiting like this, do you? Sir, I swear to you, I feel terrible. Please, just... Flustered, he took a deep breath and recomposed himself. I promise you, sir. I promise I'll be there. You can just wait a little Don't make promises you can't keep! Shizuo's barking rebuke made Kano break out in a sweat. You think I'm gonna let you off the hook just because you're working case? I hope Shizuo and Osawa don't have a conversation because we'll realise that I have the same voice for both of them. This is exactly why I don't want my daughter working with some detective. Great, another angry tirade. But But didn't you used to be a detective, sir? Kano muttered. You watch yourself, you little brat. It's not enough that you keep calling me your father-in-law. Now you have to bring that up. Evidently, Kano had touched a raw nerve. Ever had a dentist hit a nerve while drawing a tooth? That's where this expression comes from. It seemed like anything he'd said only made matters worse. Well, you're not off the hook, Shizuo continued. I am never letting my daughter marry the likes of you. His fury hitting its crescendo, Shizuo promptly hung up. Why on earth does Shizuo hold such an intense malice towards police detectives when he'd been one himself? Kano had become a detective for Rumi's sake and in the first place, and now is the biggest thing holding him back. Hey, come on, let's go. Stanley's voice snapped Kano out of his daze. Ugh. Grimly, he followed the American back to the car. Sounds like it's the same thing. But maybe someone else's timeline's changed? No, they all reached the end. Okay. Back to this. Oh, bloody hell. I bet I just missed one of them. Also, what's he... I think he's using, it looks like, Apple Mac or something, I don't know. I like the idea he's using Notepad, I'd approve. I was trying to look at like the icons because I know they have the coloured icons in the top. I prepare myself for my angry man voice again. Sorry. The other man. You utterly lack any manners and sense of decency for starters. I have plenty of manners and decency. I happen to have a deadline. Bah. As if flim-flam artists like you has a work ethic. Stop calling me flim-flam. The waitress inserted herself between the two men. Gentlemen, please, stop fighting. I remember, like, reading the waitress's profile and just, like, got the idea that she is, like, not happy at all with her working situation. And she is just having the worst day dealing with all these people. I demand that you remove this man at once, the older fellow barked. He's the one you should be kicking out, Norikawa shot back. But now he's ready to go for this guy's throat. Please, the waitress pleaded. Both of you, return to your seats. She grabbed onto Minorikawa and began to forcibly drag him back to his table. A sounds like the bad ending, which means it's probably not the bad ending. Okay, just calm down. Minorikawa did his best to swallow his pride. Whatever, he huffed. I don't have time for this anyway. He stalked back to his seat. The other man snorted and sat down with a scowl. The needless interruption, just when he'd finally gotten into writing mode, had all but killed Minorikawa's motivation. He decided he needed to take a breather. He turned to the waitress. One spaghetti Neapolitan, thanks. No, Napolitan? Not a Neapolitan. Spaghetti flavoured with tomato ketchup. Napolitan is a corruption of Neapolitan, though the dish itself has no connection to the Italian city of Naples. Rather, it originates as a menu item from a hotel in Yokohama shortly after World War II. There's also a spaghetti dish from Nagoya named Milanese, which likewise has no connection to the Italian city of Milan. I did not... Yeah, like, he didn't get enough... he didn't build up enough courage stat. I also did not realise that Neapolitan meant related to Naples. That's news to me. He might not have had a lot of spare time, but working on an empty stomach wouldn't do any favours. While waiting for his order to come out, he decided to read back over the copy he'd written so far. What? When he looked back at the monitor, his screen was black yet again. Yeah. Looking down at his feet, he saw that the power cable was now unplugged. I mean, you never know. Maybe it'll turn out that this will come up as like a question on a Jeopardy episode I watch tomorrow, and I'll be like, bam, I know it. Like, just the other day, I was thinking about reading Animal Farm, and then I decided not to. And then it turned out there was a Jackbox question about Animal Farm, and I couldn't know the answer. I was slightly mad. The waitress hurried over, looking combative. Yeah, I got it and 1984 for my birthday, and I still haven't gotten around to reading them. Sir, you yanked it out yourself when you stood up earlier. What? A likely story. It's the truth, sir. Minorikawa pointed at one of his customers sitting next to him. Is she telling the truth? Did I really yank my power cord out myself? The man nodded sheepishly. Yeah, well, then it's the outlet's fault for being some places unplugged so easily, Minorikawa squawked. The waitress marched away, her head held high. Just make sure the spaghetti's delicious, Minorikawa shouted there. Ooh! High praise. Do that and consider us even. Oh, and loaded with cheese. Lots of cheese. I don't know what my favourite book would be, to be honest. It's hard to say, like, mainly because, like, I mean, like, it needs to be something I've read recently, but also it needs to be... I feel like I'd need to have read it multiple times. I don't know. I really liked Catch-22 when I read it last year, except, it took too long for me to make sense of it. I feel I definitely need to read it a second time to get that. Mainly because it doesn't play out chronologically, and it took me a long time to realise that. But that's a fun book, and also very sad, and also hilarious, and also disturbing, and everything. It's yeah, I mean, I mostly read mystery novels, and mystery visual novels, of course. He plugged the power cable back in and then let out a heavy sigh. In all his writing further, he hadn't thought to save his work. Always make sure you save your work to completely avoid losing data. Honestly, why is it that your computer only seems to freeze when you've forgotten to save your stuff? It's fairly it's a fairly well-known 20th century novel. It's basically it takes place in World War II, and it primarily concerns a soldier who absolutely does not, or like a bombardier who absolutely wants nothing to do with it because he doesn't want to die, but because of bureaucracy and utter nonsense, he can't seem to stop himself. Like, he can't seem to get himself acquitted from the force, and it's very confusing. Nonsense ensues, but it's hilarious. Always it's also a very long book. Like, I bought it for my GDQ trip, and I took like months after it to even finish it. He was probably going to have to rewrite most of what he'd done. But yeah, I'm very excited to read Animal Farm and 1984. Maybe I'll start on it tonight after I finish streaming. Excuse me. Norikawa looked up to see a young woman standing there. It's not her. That's Rumi, I'm guessing? I'm so sorry, she said. About my father? Yes, it is. She gave a tiny bow. Your father? Oh, the rude old man. He's just a little worked up right now. Please don't pay him any mind. So what, you're waiting on your boyfriend? Huh? The woman was taken aback. I happened to hear you two arguing early. Would have been 2 hours ago? Oh, I see. An awkward, embarrassed smile came to the woman's face. I thought he was going to ask my father for permission to marry me, but so we've been waiting for him, but he hasn't showed up. No, he must be really busy. She cast her eyes down sadly. Norikawa took a better look at her. She was gorgeous. A woman with her looks wasn't something he saw every day, that was for sure. Wow, imagine if Kano gets his girl stolen by Norikawa. That'd be a turn of events. So, would you mind talking with me for a little bit? He asked. Me? Yeah, I kinda need to turn my mood around here. Well, okay, at least until my father gets back. The woman cast an anxious look towards the restrooms. What's your name? Rumi. She sat down across from him. This is Minorikawa living his best life, though. He'd never get a second chance. Wait a second, aren't you... Norikawa appeared at Rumi's face. One of his twins was choosing Mrs. Midoriyama? Miss Midoriyama? Rumi shook her head. No, not me. No, darn. Didn't think I'd be that lucky. He took a sip of his now cold coffee. Ooh. I do know the girls you're talking about though, Rumi said. I mean, that's all I know, which is to say I've listened to Muse's 5th album. Minorikawa spat out his coffee in surprise. Rumi squeaked in alarm as the spray splattered her face, but Minorikawa leaned in unconcerned. And so I know thought police as well. You in it? You really know them? Yes, Rumi replied. You're talking about the Osawa twins, right? She got out a handkerchief and wiped away coffee from her face as she spoke. Osawa? Minorikawa glanced at the project proposal on the table. 60 squared. Twins share top prize at the local university beauty contest. Midoriyama Academy, Maria and Tomi Osawa. I just love the idea of Minorikawa excited to try to get an interview with these two, having no idea what's going on with their story. Yes, that's it! The Osawa twins! I actually won Miss Midoriyama myself a few years ago. This year I served as one of the judges. Minorikawa adopted self-satisfied pose. Guess I really was born on the right son to be a freelancer. The leads just keep come to me. Sure, Rumi muttered. Okay, let's talk the basics then. Tell me what you know about these girls. Well, I don't really know them personally. Rumi continued to dab at the coffee. Rumi continued to dab at the coffee on her face. But now that you ask, I do remember hearing that they'd entered the contest separately. Wait, separately? Now Minorikawa was a bit confused. Yes, that's right. I assumed they'd entered as a pair, but apparently not. I wonder why. I mean, they're twins, don't they look alike? Wear the same clothes, do everything together, and say the same things at the same time? He's getting a bit far. Rumi chuckled and shook her head. No, not at all. Besides, these two aren't identical. They're fraternal twins, she said. So it's clearly they entered separately, but then they were grouped together because they couldn't win on their own. They are One Direction. Twins who were born at the same time from two eggs that were fertilized separately. Fraternal twins do not share the same genetic information. They can differ in such characteristics such as sex and blood type. There are cases of fraternal twins resembling one another almost as closely as identical twins. Maria and Tomi Osawa happen to look closely alike, but they do not have the same blood type. Although at a glance they do look very similar, still, how should I put this? They both give off a very different impression. Oh, now that sounds very interesting. Want to explain what you mean? Norikawa opened his memo pad. I talked to them briefly after the award ceremony. The older sister struck me as really energetic, but the younger one was more quiet and reserved. She was probably better at rock, paper, scissors too. I was wondering about that. Like, if they turn up, what if they turn up in the same scene? Norikawa's investigative senses were tingling. I wouldn't figure a shy girl would want to enter a campus beauty contest. I suppose not, no. Yeah, I don't suppose you've got any... I don't suppose you've got any juice here, Minorikawa asked. Rumi frowned. Would you like to just go ask them yourself, she said. They don't live very far from here. I'm surprised Rumi doesn't... Oh, I guess... That's why they mostly do photos, just so it's easier to do that scene when they meet up eventually. Well, hold the phone. Minorikawa could hardly believe what would fall in his lap. The advance info on the project proposal had mentioned the girls were students of Midoriyama, but hadn't given an actual address. It sounded creepy. If you could talk to them directly, now that would be payday. You know where they live? Well, not exactly. I just heard they lived in Shoto. Ah, Shoto! That wasn't far away. A car or motorcycle could get there in about 10 minutes. The question is, couldn't they just find a set of twins who look like what they want? I often wonder that. Norikawa flashed a quick look towards the restroom. It looked like Rumi's father had just gotten back. Sorry, she said. I should be going. No problem, man. Thank you. Rumi gave him a quick nod, then hurried back to her seat. Norikawa grabbed the directory from the public phone and flipped through the pages. To his surprise, there were only 5 listings for the name Osawa, with addresses in Shoto. There was neither a Maria or Hitomi, but he expected to find... No, he hadn't expected there. He needed to find their parents. Wasting no time, he called up the first Osawa on the list. I feel like this will cause an issue for Osawa. Bingo! Minorikawa couldn't help but pump his fist in excitement. He'd gotten the right place on the first try. Way to go, me! He continued to the house number listed in the phone book to memory. Wait, committed. Just then, the waitress reappeared with a disgruntled expression and Minorikawa's order of spaghetti Neapolitan. Here you are, sir. I was right about her not taking his shit. Oh. The pasta was piled up with an impressive mound of grated cheese. It looked almost like a miniature mountain of snow. You did say lots of cheese, sir, the waitress told him. She set him down a canister of cheese and a bottle of Tabasco. A sauce made from a US-based McKillany company consisting of hot peppers, grain vinegar, and rock salt. Known for its distinctive spiciness, it can make spaghetti and pizza quite tasty with the addition of just a few drops. Tabasco also goes pretty well with rum and curry, recommended for times when flavour is lacking a little punch. However, even with one drop may be too much for those who can't handle spicy things. It's been claimed that Tabasco was first imported to Japan by a well-known former pro wrestler, but this story is untrue. Oh, this looks good, Pinocchio exclaimed. He folded some spaghetti up with his fork and shoved it in his mouth. The cheese is dispersed rather rapidly. The slightly sour sweetness of the ketchup blended perfectly with the mellow flavour of the cheese. Oh, that is tasty! There was nothing like satisfying grub to lift the spirits. He turned back to his laptop, still wolfing down the spaghetti. Alright, we're back in action, let's do this! Yet again he unthinkably blurted his words out loud as he slipped back into writing mode. I've got this! I've got this! With ketchup smeared around his mouth, he set his fingers tapping away at the keys. The waitress let another groan of dismay. She is not getting paid enough for this. Huh? You say something? Norikawa glanced in her direction, but the waitress faked a smile. No, sir, I don't think so. Yep, you're... Go away. You disrupted me. The moment he looked away, she clenched her fist in indignation. Nothing, sir. Good luck with your work, sir. I didn't need luck. I've got this. I was jumping back and forth between pasta and computer. Minorikawa got to work on her coffee once more. I did nearly put her on my ranking list. She deserves it, I think. Before long, he was oblivious to every sound in the cafe around him. I think the main thing is I couldn't be bothered working out her name. I know it said it once, but I forget when. When he finally snapped into out of writing mode, he glanced at his watch. It was 2:20, almost time for him to head to his next interview. Gotta get a move on. Oh, it's the same taxi driver again. I also nearly put him in, but I couldn't be bothered finding his name. Kimizuka's taxi came just as Minorikawa was hurrying out of the cafe. Well, what a present surprise! Minorikawa called out. Nice timing, my man! Kimizuka's startled look quickly vanished behind an expression of professional resignation. Do you need a ride, sir? You know it, Minorikawa replied. First we head to Shoto. After that, I'll need to get to Sakura Gaoka. As he cast his gaze out of the side of the city, Minorikawa mulled over his plan for the next part of the day. First, he'd interview the Midoriyama girls. Then he'd meet with the head of that theatre troupe. Oh, this is peak he doesn't know mode. But let's see how he goes with this. In order to leave himself enough time to write his copy, that meant I'd like to get all this wrapped up in 20 minutes. He said. Can you make that happen? Kimizuka flashed a grin. That will incur a special fare, sir. Ooh, special! Noriko said as he got it said. I love that word! Kimizuka stepped on the gas. Shibuya was a town of contrasts. It was a town of young people, unpretentious, energetic. The scrambled intersection and censored guy perfectly conveyed that vibrancy. However, if one turned right at the 109 building and headed down Bunkamura Dori, The town's whole atmosphere changed. Shoto was one of Shibuya's, indeed, one of Tokyo's most upscale residential districts. Whenever one looked, there were stately manor houses giving off an imposing air, sending the message that this was no place for the common folk. Right, he's fine. Norikawa directed Kimizuka to pull over. Wait here for me. I'll be right back. He's such an awful person, this taxi driver, who is just too kind. Hopping out of the taxi, he checked the nameplates of the nearby homes. Ah, here we go. I can read the first kanji. It says "oh." Kinji Osawa, huh? The name nagged at him somehow. It had been in the back of his mind ever since he'd seen it in the phone book at the cafe. Had he seen it someplace before? He walked up to the gate and pressed the button for the intercom. Even the little chime it made when pressed sounded elegant. Norikawa waited, but there was no response. Yeah, oh yeah, you did tell me that. It's... I wonder if it's written anywhere in the manga. Like, there'll be like some sort of, maybe the hospital or something says Hinamizawa on it. I'll keep an eye out for that. He looked at his watch. It was 2:30 now. His interview with Shinosuke Orarai of the Wandering Angels is supposed to have started already. Episode 3. With help from the Shinichi Bando, Mondo was able to get out of his apartment. Oh yeah, there must be something that says Hinamizawa. Then, when all the players had finally assembled, the troupe proceeded with one last rehearsal before showtime. But again, tragedy struck. Mondo came down with food poisoning after eating his lunch. He was rushed to the hospital in an ambulance, and the Angels were once again lacking an actor for a key role of Shido. Orai was on the verge of panic. Finally, however, he came up with a solution. Novice actor Takuya Amo, age 31, would take on the part. Still, he wanted to mate with the twins first, if it was possible. He had to make a choice. He decided to wait a little bit longer. Just 5 more minutes. This has to be the wrong ending. Oh no. The front door opened. A grim-looking man emerged, leading another man in Alright, something's happened here. Minorikawa is standing in their way. Shit, I can never remember which one is Kajiwara and which one's Tanaka. I'm just going to say Kajiwara because his voice is more fun to do. Pardon us, the serious-looking fellow said. He gave Minorikawa a curt bow as he passed by. Minorikawa smelled the distinct odour of a scoop. Hey, does that guy live here? He asked. Matt ignored him and kept moving, but Minorikawa followed. He couldn't let this opportunity pass him by. Hey, wait up! Is that Mr. Osawa? With a grimace, the man pushed Minorikawa aside and hurried his handcuffed prisoner along. For a moment, Minorikawa wondered if he should keep after them, but he decided against it. Whatever was going on here, he doubted he'd be able to get an interview with the twin girls right now. This has all been an unfortunate waste of time. He had no real choice but to head along to his next interview. I can't believe it's so rare that Osawa leaves his house. A few moments later, the rear tyres skidded sharply as the cab came to a stop beside a different curve. The trip from Shoto to the theatre in Sakuragaoka took in almost no time at all. Here we are, yes sir, Mizuka announced. Wow, that was fast. Still, Minorikawa was at least 5 minutes behind schedule. You'd hoped you'd be able to get the interview with Orai. Alright. I thought it was going to be a bad end. Before I try someone else, I wanted to see what happens if I instigate an argument, because surely that's a bad ending. Oh, it's too late for that. Giving into his anger, Minorikawa threw a punch at the troublemaker. Rah! The man dodged nimbly, however. Hey, you know what's bad? I'm a 6th dan in judo. Oh, you should have mentioned that earlier. Norikawa hastily retreated to a seat. The other man snorted and sat down with a scar. Okay, it's nothing different. Every time. The needless interruption, just when he'd finally gotten into writing mode, had all been okay. Who should we go next? I think it's Maria's turn. You know what's funny too? Is that I was hesitant to give Tama and Hitomi the same voice. The sales clerk continues to stare at me. You know, you look really familiar, he says. Huh? Really? And I was like, no, that's too stupid of a plot twist. We've already established that Maria's in the car. How would that work? I perk up at that. Maybe I can find something out about who I am. That is a weird shot. Like, yeah, you totally looks like some pop singer or TV personality. I just can't remember who. Oh, that's what you meant. My shoulders slump in disappointment. Look, if you're trying to flatter me, how about a discount on the necklace? Sure, okay. I mean, it's just something I picked up off the side of the... ho! The sales clerk stammers for a moment. Okay, how about I take off 10,000? 30,000 is yours. You mean it? That perks me right. Guess I'm easy to please. Get your mind out of the gutter, that's not what she means and you know it. Sure, you look like you might need some new clothes too. He points to my sweater. Oh, it's ripped. There's a tiny tear on the left shoulder. I can't see it really. Oh wait, yes I can. So, what do you want me to do about the cat? The sales clerk adds. Want me to dispose of it for you? He gestured at my costume with his jaw. Oh, right. What should I do? But I thought, like, she needs to return it. She'd just forgotten about that. Deal with herself, I guess. I feel a little guilty about having him go out his way for me more than he has already. Maybe I should deal with it myself. He looks a bit disappointed when I tell him that. I have the weirdest sense of deja vu from this scene, I'm not sure why. I buy the necklace for 30,000 yen, and then leave the knick-knack shop, holding the costume with me. I decided it was easier to just wear the costume. Hang on. But as I walk along, I start regretting my decision. I can't find a good place to throw the cat outfit away. Finally, I spot a convenience store that looks like it'll do just fine. One of the employees is out front, cleaning out the trash can. Several large garbage bags line the side of the road. Perfect. Maybe I can have him toss out the costume along with everything else. I feel like she can't get rid of the costume though, like she needs it to hide herself or something. Excuse me, so I've got this old cat suit here. I figure it can't hurt to ask. Yeah, I know. The shop boy takes the costume from me. Taku Okado, a 22-year-old getting by on part-time employment. Recently, after a number of employees quit in rapid succession, the owner hurriedly took up several new hires. But for some reason, instead of everyone chipping in on the cleaning, Okado always winds up stuck doing it. Hey, I can recognize the O in his name as well. Wait, sorry. You're here to throw this thing out. I got it. He sounds wholly unsurprised. He accepts it so blithely that I actually feel bad. It's been like this all morning, he says. I don't even care anymore. Just throw away when you need and be on your way, I guess. It's been like, what all morning? I'm out here cleaning and people keep dumping trash at me. First it was this couple that threw a garbage bag at me. I thought it was going to be Archie. Archie Endo and Tomi Osawa. The two have just run into a girl called Kanan. After that, some homeless looking guy came by, took all his clothes off and left. Detective Yuji Sasayama from the Shibuya precinct. At the moment, Sasayama is searching for a costume for his next disguise, of course. Wait a minute. Chronologically, I'm trying to remember when did Archie do that? I can't remember. Like just now, some chubby girl tossed us a bunch of empty cardboard boxes and a bunch of empty bottles. That must have been Cherry. She was probably drinking the burning hammer while she walked along. So when you came by just now with this thing, I knew right away. Yep, this again. This guy is the connection between everyone. I'm sorry. It's alright. It's alright. 3 times, 4 times, what's the difference? He flashes a bright smile, but it's clearly insincere. Then he looks at me more closely. Huh? Aren't you the girlfriend of that dude who just threw the bag of garbage at me? What? Nope, not me. Huh? Guess I'm misremembering then. Well, anyway, thanks for your help with this. I give this guy a bow. See, I thought it was the knick-knack shop owner all along. A few minutes later, near the station, I spot a sort of mole. Checking the directory by the exit, I see it's got several clothing shops and an arcade inside. I can hear that. Except when I can't help but hear Sega Tetris from Puyo Puyo Tetris. And then the music starts playing in my head. They probably sell shirts in here. I hurry on inside. The interior of the building is like a twisting maze of corridors, all of them overflowing with people. I take the escalator to the 2nd floor and find myself amidst rows of arcade games. I was trying to get in the fashion area, but I must have gone the wrong way. Okay, he is also everywhere. Excuse me. You haven't seen a lost little girl, have you? Excuse me, I am a lost little girl. I turn to see a miserable-looking middle-aged man peering at me anxiously. Toru Toyama. He got separated from his daughter Hana while running from debt collectors. He's on edge, worried that the men who are after him might take Hana hostage. So now he's just at the arcades because he's bored. Have you seen her? A little girl, about 10 years old? A girl around 10. Have I seen her? You have literally seen this man today, Maria. What's her name? Hana. Hana Toyama. Hana? Oh, that's a pretty name. So, she's about... she's about yay tall. The man launches into a rapid-fire explanation describing the girl's features, hair, and clothes. I got separated from her around Senegai. She likes this place, so I thought maybe she'd come here. Senegai. That's right, now I remember. This is the guy I bumped into earlier this afternoon while I was racing around the kite costume. He got separated from his daughter? Yikes. If she did come here, it's not going to be easy to find her amidst these crowds. Oh, I just realized... Yeah, I was just about to say that everything is be alright. Are you sure she didn't come back home? I ask. Well, there's this problem, he mutters. Going home isn't an option. Well, that's not really an explanation. Sorry to bother you. I'll look around some more. With that, Hannah's father disappears into the crowd. I leave the arcade and head for the fashion area. Is he just like ripping out all these scratchies? I bump into Mr. Yanagishi in a hallway lined with photo booths. Huh? Boss? What's he doing in a place like this? Oh, Tama, you're out of the suit! Sorry. Oh, Tama, you're out of the suit! For some reason, he's got a bunch of magazines strewn across the floor. Yeah, finally managed to get out off. That's good. I wish you could have been at the sales demo without your face hidden away. What are you doing? You mentioned something about a creek earlier. Are you going on a trip? Yeah, I was. Then I remembered something important. I got motion... Wait a minute. No, wait. He's not the one who knows about it. I'm an idiot. I get motion sickness, something fierce. He sounds kind of proud of himself. Maybe he's like looking for winning scratch tickets. So yeah, no trip for me. Heck, I didn't even want to think about that now. What about the money you owe? I'm curious. Well, as it happened, I think I may have found my solution. He brings a hand to his mouth and giggles. Right here! I found a great way to make a killing. How ironic considering who she was just talking to. To earn a lot of money, usually in a very short time and with little effort. The phrase originated from the 19th century in reference to hunters who were paid based on the number of kills they made. Why is this a 428 quote and not a general quote? He opens the magazine he's holding to reveal a scratch card with a potential 100,000 yen prize. You just gotta scratch off one of these to win 100,000 yen. All I need is 30 of them and my debt's squared away. Each magazine I can nab is more money for me. Despite his enthusiasm, his story doesn't quite add up. Are those scratch cards guaranteed to win? Well, they may be at me a car, but I'm not allowed to leave my house, so I can't use it. Wait. No, of course not. It's a lottery sort of thing. Well then, having 30 copies of the magazine is hardly a foolproof solution. Quite the opposite, in fact, but I hold my tongue. Okay then, now that my good goddess of fortune Tama's here, let me hurry and scratch these suckers off. Yanagisha begins fervently scratching away at the first card of a coin. Oh, that's a loser. Wait, it says Basil? Wait, oh, that one's the loser. Maybe the next one. Nope, that's a loser too. Damn it. So is this one and this one. In a spectacular display, he scratches off a losing card one after another. Wait. Scratchicado. Oh, wait, no, it's Hazel. Hazel? I don't know. Soon he's down to just one last magazine. Oh yeah, actually, if it was Hazel, it would be Hazulu. Hazret. It's in katakana, I should know what it is. You're not a very good, lucky person, are you? Look, please don't say that. Mr. Yanagisha sounds like he's on the verge of tears. I stare at one of the losing scratch cards. You know, if you could just see the symbols for the card, you'd win for sure, I say jokingly. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot, it wasn't that they're all winning, like, it's not the instantly winning cards, it's that, there's a solution and it's spoiled in it. Okay. I'm used to scratch cards where it's like, you just peel off everything and if it's, you either get it or not something that's like, you have to peel off the right ones. Which is actually what I did in Jackbox last night. When I do, I really can see the symbols for the cards. Boss, I think I might just have... Shh! He interrupts me before I can share my shocking discovery. I look at him in surprise. Mr. Yanagisha has gone all pale. Quiet, Tama! Those guys are here! He shoved me into a photo booth. Those guys? We're all going to die here, just like those guys. The debt collector, he hisses. They just do not give up. He clutches the sides of his head. Peeking out of the booth, I spot a pair of men who look pretty rough around the edges. Is it those two? Shh! Not so loud! The men are looking around, and they're getting closer and closer. What do I do? Oh, what do I do? No, what do I do? What would I do? Mr. Yanagishi started getting panicky. Tama, what do I do? I have no idea. Oh, this is not good. This is not good. Mr. Yanagishi whimpers. Let's run off. I'm very good at not getting bad endings, so I'm sure it'll happen again. Getting involved with these thugs strikes us a bad idea. I pretend not to know what I pretend not to know Yanagisha and run off. Ah, Tama, wait up, please! I can still hear him calling pathetically as I scurry away. I didn't get to mention the transparent scratch cards, but that may be for the best. The guy really ought to develop a proper work ethic. Low-key, Maria is just saving Toyama's life by wasting all of them. Wait, sorry. Hey, come on, wait up! I'm on the escalator to the 3rd floor when I hear someone shouting. I figure it's someone yelling for their kid, but when I turn around I see a young man I don't recognize staring right back at me. Oh, I thought it was Yanagisha. Where are you going? It's not safe for us to get separated. Get too separated. It's Archie, isn't it? I bet it's Archie. What? Who's this weirdo? Is this some kind of new pickup trick or something? I rush the escalator to get away from the guy. When I get to the restaurant section on the 4th floor, I'm hit with a sudden pang of hunger. Come to think of it, I haven't eaten a thing all day. I'm so hungry, I mutter to myself as I walk around. Wait, is it Archie's turn next to be hungry? I mutter, hey, what should I eat? Then I spot Chiri coming out of a Chinese restaurant. Hey, Chiri! She turns to look at me confused. Who are you? Oh, it's me, it's Tama. I thought I recognized that voice, she replies with a nod. Did you eat again? I ask. That's a good point. He's always thirsty. Well, yeah. Then they kicked me out. Isn't that just terrible? She looks pretty displeased. I came here because they said it was all you can eat, but then they closed shops because they ran out of food. Just look at that expression. Oh wow, you're right. Don't let her come inside. I spot one of the restaurant staff hanging a closed sign in the front door. I didn't even think Retta. I thought she's more terrified than anything. Man, now my early afternoon snack is ruined. An afternoon snack? At an all-you-can-eat buffet? I can't help but stare at Cherry's midsection, amazed at what that stomach is capable of. By the way, have you seen the boss? She asks. I thought he finally accepted that he needs to buckle down and work, but he's gotten some crazy scheme. Guess the guy's just never gonna learn. I figure nothing good is gonna come from associating him. I'd be careful if I were you. Huh? Done with a little rant, Cherry says goodbye and heads off along the restaurants. Hitomi? Who's Hitomi? Who said that? Were they talking to me? Oh, wait, who was that? I turn around to see some businessman of some sort staring my direction. Like everyone I've run into today, I don't recognize him. For some reason though, I feel relaxed in his presence. Is that you, Hitomi? Hitomi? Could that be my name? Or are you Maria? No, As I fumble for word, the man peers at me with obvious concern. What are you doing in a place like this? We need to get you back home. Your parents are worried sick. My parents? Did someone file a missing persons report while I've been wandering around with amnesia? The man leads the way, and I follow. Wait a minute. Step back a moment. The kidnapping was reported by... I'm not sure if Hitomi herself saw it, but like the teacher. What if he is in on this, and he made up a story about her being kidnapped, but he knows what really happened to Maria, and somehow he gave her amnesia. Think about it. We leave the Geigo building, but head down a narrow alleyway. Then the man suddenly stops. I feel a jolt of anxiety as I notice something gleaming in his hand. It doesn't matter which of the two you are. You're both in the way. What? He mutters almost as if talking to himself. Did he just hit me with a hammer? Right after that, everything goes dark. Ow. After meeting a man who seemed to know her on a restaurant level, it's like on a personal level, a heroine hoped to find out more about her past. Instead, she wound up getting attacked in an alleyway. Ultimately, this all came to pass because she was avoiding that young man who mistook her for Hitomi. If he hadn't come shouting after her, she would have gone on to buy some clothes like she originally intended. Sorry. Three hours of talking will do that to you. No worries. I'm just going to redo with the other option now, which I suspect won't change anything. I'm also not going to stream for too much longer probably, because I need to get up relatively early tomorrow. Oh, this is not good. This is not good, Mr. Yanagishi Wishib. This guy gave me a job, so I kind of owe him. I look around for a better place for the two of us to hide. Unfortunately, I don't really see anywhere that might work. We might be safer staying right where we are. Just stay nice and stay still, and we'll be fine, I whisper. Yeah, you're probably right. I really still need to clear my throat, I think. The curtain is drawn, so people can't see inside. But just to keep up appearances, we start taking photos as if we're normal customers. I really hope they don't look in here, Mr. Yanagishi murmurs. What do we do if they find us? They won't. Just worry. Don't worry. Despite my assurances, it was a while before he stopped trembling. Then he said, "You know, Tama, they say that when a man and the woman meet under unusual circumstances, it's easy for them to fall in love." Holy shit, so, like, the romance in this game is very strange. Uh-huh? Do they now? They do. Going through an extreme situation together makes you fall for each other. So, wanna get married? No way. Yeah. I am not having this conversation. Anyway, I think they're gone now. The debt collectors, I mean. Mr. Yanagishi peeks out and quickly scans the surrounding area. They're gone? They're gone? Ah, so long, losers. His fear has given way to a burst of manic energy. Guess I'm in the clear now. Thanks, Tama. Come on, let's get some commemorative photos. Huh? To commemorate what exactly? Come on, it'll be fun. Okay, big smile now. Ready? Cheese, butter, margarine. Afro life. After that, I part ways with Mr. Yanagishi and head to a different floor. I don't tell him about being able to see through the scratch cards. The guy really ought to develop a proper work ethic. Is it going to be unchanged now? Except, like, I feel like Yanagishi's fate has, like, changed someone else's somehow. I'll think about it later. Actually, no, I'm going to change it now. Because, like, he's more likely to show up on someone's timeline now if, like, something different happens to him. It'll be easy to work out what's going on. Okay, so... We did so much of Kano's last before. No, we did so much Kano today, I don't want to do them today. How about Osawa? Because he's got some serious confusion going on right now. Also, like, I also reminded myself, like, the image that it shows on Steam when you click it, I thought it was Hitomi in the front, but maybe it's Maria. And now my mind is blown. That's the only reason they're twins. To surprise yourself. I do not want others intruding into my domain. Accordingly, I do not intrude on others. That is how I've lived my life. That is how I've forged my sense of calm. But something has begun to drive me mad. The boundaries between myself and others have started to collapse. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I will become something other than myself. And that is one thing I fear I could never bear. Oh no, you don't! Kajiwara tackled Tanaka as he strode toward the floor. Two men collapsed in a heap on the front entryway. Hey, Tanaka barked. What are you doing? Hold still! Kajiwara ran his bug tracker over Tanaka's body. He began beeping loudly. Aha! Kajiwara pulled off Tanaka's necktie clip. It's a listening device. Tanaka's face went pale. Where did you get this? Kajiwara demanded. Well... Tanaka trailed off into silence. Wait. I gave it to him. It was I who appeared on the second floor landing. You? You were listening in? Osawa asked brokenly. Ma'am, Kajiwara said, would you mind explaining this? For once he seemed deadly serious. I was barely able to hear a thing. That's what I get for going with something so cheap. I held out a dangling earpiece. When and where did you get that? Earlier today, when I left to do some shopping. And why did you plant a listening device on Mr. Tanaka? Kajiwara asked. That's what I want to know, Tanaka chimed in. Why would you do this, Mrs. Osawa? He was trembling. You were outside emailing someone earlier, weren't you, Mr. Tanaka? I saw you from the window. Emailing? Kajiwara looked into Tanaka's face. I nodded. He came back into the house shortly afterwards and I asked him where he'd gone. And what do you think he said? She was practically gloating, playing to her little audience. She began stalking down the stairs. He said he'd gone to check on something at the lab, despite the fact he was out in the yard there fiddling with his phone the whole time. So I figured if I bugged him, he might show his true colours and... Enough! Enough! Osawa cut his wife off. Tanaka had been emailing Toby, of course, but he couldn't reveal that now. I think I get what happened here, Kajiwara interposed. He folded his arms. Your wife thought that Mr. Tanaka was in contact with the kidnappers, and so she planted a listening device on him. The detective peered at Tanaka. Who are you emailing, sir? Yes, that's right, I chirped. Show us your phone, Mr. Tanaka. Let's see what you're really up to. Or is there some reason you don't want to show us? Osawa started to panic. If the police checked that cell phone, they'd find the emails from Itomi. And if the kidnappers somehow found out about that, Maria's life would be in danger. But I was still relentlessly advancing on Tanaka. Stop this! Darling? She turned to him in surprise. Tanaka was sending emails on my behalf, Osawa said. I asked him to do it. And just who was he emailing? It was... Beatorici! He needed to think of a lie fast. Pretty honey? I'm just gonna pick it. It was pretty honey. The room went silent. Pretty... Wait, what did you say? Wait, what did you say? Kajiwara asked after a long awkward moment. Honey, Osawa replied meekly. My apologies, I didn't quite catch that. One more time. Pretty honey. Osawa's voice was scarcely audible. Pretty honey, I asked, sounding ashamed on his behalf. Who's that? Osawa felt his cheeks burning. Of all the names he might have chose, why did he pick that one? Who is it, sir? Kajiwara demanded. He regarded Osawa's face keenly. A personal associate of mine. You wouldn't know them. But why ask Tanaka to send the messages? Kajiwara asked. Don't you have a computer in your study? Couldn't you have just sent the emails yourself? My computer was having problems sending the email. I'm not sure what the issue was. Look, the point is there's no reason to worry about Tanaka's emails. But his emails. Now I assume we're done here? I need Tanaka to run some errands for me. With that, Osawa opened the front door. Tanaka gave him a quick bow and headed out the door. Hey, wait. I started to go after him. Just calm down, Osawa barred the way. Wait. There's no way he's connected to the kidnappers. Can't you see that? His voice cracked, and he shuddered at the sudden rush of emotion. They're there, sir, Kajiwara said consolingly. She's just deeply worried about your daughter. I turned around and marched back upstairs. But still, if she is that worried, giving a tie clip as a gift seems a bit... Clothing accessory meant to hold one's necktie in place. In the old days, they were a quintessential part of the salaryman's outfit, along with cufflinks and company badge. Recently, tie clips have come back into vogue with some older men, now frequently referred to as tie bars. Kajiwara's muttering trailed off. What do you mean? Osawa asked. Nothing. Not important. The detective waved a hand dismissively, but there had been a definitive note of suspicion in his voice. It's a compass! Well, back to work! Kajiwara headed back into the living room. If anyone doesn't like my Kajiwara voice, then I am succeeding at doing a Kajiwara voice. Osawa returned to his study and sat in front of his computer. He had no desire to be in the presence of the detectives who now crowded his living room. The Ayakamiki fan forum for people 40 and over was still open on his monitor. He reloaded the pages and saw his earlier thread had gotten a reply. It was from Pretty Honey, a regular contributor to Osawa's threads. Username of someone who posts regularly on the Ayakamiki fan forum. Seems to know a lot about agriculture and the police. As evidence with statements such as, if the world were a farm with 100 people, as well as a tendency to post to another called the 87th Precinct Keller Community. Precinct. Kano is a precinct. Wait. Incidentally, Shinya Kano's girlfriend Rumi also posts to the 87th Precinct telecommunity from time to time. She had several massive arguments with Pretty Honey there, with the latter criticising the police for not doing their job, while Rumi insists that police work is very difficult and deserves more credit. Wow, she is a narc. ACAB, Rumi, ACAB. I'm opposed to the idea of Aya Kamiki expanding to America. Flips table. She should be able to enjoy the success she's earned in Japan without having to struggle overseas. Aya has done so much for us. I'd like to hear her keep supporting Japan forever. The message was festooned with the sort of emoticons that a young girl might use. Pretty Honey claimed to be a 19-year-old female college student. Although the community was meant for Aya Kamiki fans 40 and over, the setting allowed anyone to post there. The only young woman among the members, however, was Pretty Honey. The thread continued. By the way, have you tried the Aya fortune teller yet? There's a link below. Fortune telling, huh? The practice of determining a person's future luck or life events using cards, horoscopes, and or other methods of divination. Most people believe such prognostication when it foretells something good, and don't believe in the outlook is bad. That's about as much faith in fortune telling as someone should have. What is this graphic? Okay. But first you have to bring this big luck stone to the fortune teller, or buy it or something like that. Persona 5 memories. Yeah. Osawa stared. Should he ask it whether Maria was safe? If it gave a good answer, he'd believe it. If it were a bad answer, he wouldn't. It might be worth a shot just for the peace of mind it'd bring. He clicked the link and the Aya fortune teller page came up. It asked you to enter your birth date, sex, and then Aya Kamiki would offer her advice. Osawa followed the instructions, entering his date of birth, selecting male, and then clicking next. A few seconds later, his fortune was displayed. You're a very work-minded person. He'd hoped for some insight on Maria, but instead it was just a write-up about his personality. You'd never be able to get by without the devoted support of those around you, but you probably don't realise that, do you? It's a big mistake to think you can get through all of life's challenges on your own. There's nothing cool about being ignorant. If you don't get over your indifference to the world might start to harbour quite a grudge. Find a way to connect more deeply with the people around you and start living a better life before it's too late. Just do that and you're sure to have a wonderful future ahead. Famous people who got your result. Shinosuke Arai. I know that name. The head of the Wandering Angels theatre troupe. He has an interview appointment with Minoru Mihara at 2:30 this afternoon. Osawa couldn't help but feel this advice was painfully appropriate. He went back to the forum and replied to Pretty Honey. Nice to hear from you again, Pretty Honey. I definitely know how you feel about Aya Kamiki being ours. Still, I'm confident she's got what it takes to persevere and succeed in America. And if she does fail, well, all of us in Japan will be here to welcome her back all the same. Guess this voyage to America I've concocted just has me a little worked up. Osawa clicked post and leaned back in his chair. Mr. Osawa! Mr. Osawa! It was Kajiwara shouting from the outside the door. First the toilet, then lunch. What is it? No, first the toilet, then lunch. What is it now? There's been a development in the case. Please join us in the living room. We have important matters to discuss. Kajiwara had his detective face on. When Osawa entered the living room, I was already there. I, the person, looking stern and solemn. Now that you're both here, Kajiwara said, allow me to share what we know. We've identified a location that appears to be the Syndicate's hideout. You have? What about Maria? Is she there? Osawa exclaimed. We still haven't been able to ascertain whether your daughter is safe. Well then, what were those important matters you need to discuss? Osawa felt a wave of anxiety rush through him. The hideout in question is condominium in Hiru, and it's owned by... By whom? Mr. Osawa, please calm down. Tell me, go on out with it. Kajiwara took a deep breath. The residence is owned by Mamoru Tanaka. Osawa was speechless. He couldn't process what he was hearing. Tanaka? Lies, I shrieked. Just what are you implying? That Mr. Tanaka is the kidnapper? Where's your proof? With all due respect, ma'am, weren't you suspicious of Mr. Tanaka yourself? I suppose, but you did go so far as to stick a listening device on him. Flustered, I, the person, withdrew into a vacant silence. The sudden ringing of the phone startled everyone in the room. Was that Tanaka? No, it couldn't be. There was no way. The phone was wiretapped. The detective wearing the headset nodded to Kajiwara, who in turn motioned for Osawa to pick up. Hello, he said cautiously. Hello. Is this the home of Maria Osawa? The voice was not Tanaka. I know who it is. Is this the home of Maria Osawa? The voice was not Tanaka's. Osawa didn't recognize it, but the veil of despair that hung before him thinned slightly. Is this the home of Hitomi Osawa? This time the man on the phone used Hitomi's name instead. Wait, should I... Who's that? I don't recognize that name. I also don't know if it's Abe or Abe. Yes, that's right. The caller immediately hung up. As Osawa stood there, dumbstruck, Kajiwara gently took the receiver and hung up the phone. Oh, right. I did not even know his name. I'm so bad with world leaders. I can name like 5 of them. 6. Yeah. One of the detectives addressed Kajiwara. We've traced the source of the call to the cell phone. Also, we've pinpointed the base station used. Inform Director Kuze so we can prepare a team, just in case. Just in case? Osawa said. What do you mean by that? Kajiwara frowned slightly. Just because this is a kidnapping case doesn't mean every phone call comes from the kidnapper. We'll look into it, of course, but... I see. Besides, right now, confirming Mr. Tanaka's whereabouts take priority. Don't you agree? Osawa nodded. Someone should call him! The detective added. I'll do it. I'll do it. I got a cell phone and dialed up Tanaka. Where was Mr. Tanaka headed? Kajiwara asked. He eyed Osawa keenly. I don't actually know. Even leaving out the part about Somi, that was still the truth. If Tanaka was behind the kidnapping, Osawa knew he ought to tell the police about the blue minivan and the emails from his order. But part of him still trusted Tanaka deep down. He couldn't bring himself to reveal it all. We have investigators en route to Tanaka's condominium, Kajiwara said. Let's wait for them to report in. We have investigators en route to Tanaka's condominium, Kajiwara said. Let's wait for them to report in. Why did it say that line twice? Am I mad? On the far side of the room, I was squawking in frustration. Despite several attempts, she hadn't been able to get through to Tanaka. Kajiwara's phone rang and pulled it from his pocket. Kano? What's going on? He headed into one corner as he spoke to the receiver. I suppose that'll be alright. What for, though? After a few more quiet words, Kajiwara held his phone out to Osawa. One of the investigators on the scene would like to speak with you. Frowning in confusion, Osawa took hold of the phone. Osawa speaking. Can I help you? This is Detective Kano from Shibuya Precinct. Time is critical, so I need to cut to the chase here. There was a pause as the speaker took a deep breath before continuing. Did you give the antiviral drug to your daughter, Hitomi? What? Osawa was so startled that his voice caught in his throat. What are you talking about? The antiviral research was top secret, so how did some detective from Shibuya Precinct know about it? Osawa was bewildered. I'm the one asking questions here, Mr. Osawa. Did you give the antiviral drug to your daughter, Hitomi? I'm not sure I understand the question. I know what the syndicate is really after, Mr. Osawa. Is this why he gets arrested? Osawa's mind went blank as he heard what Kano said next. He could give no reply. Mr. Osawa, the detective continued. Mr. Osawa, the detective continued for a moment. Is everything alright? Without thinking, Osawa hung up. They were after the virus. Did he mean the UA virus that was kept at the lab? Wait, hold on. Detective had to be wrong about that. The kidnappers must have the UA virus already. Otherwise, I wouldn't have to do what I did to atone. What? Do not look away, these are your crimes. At last Osawa understood what those emails from A were all about. They were a preview of the tragedy that was yet to unfold. The kidnappers probably meant to start the main event soon. It might already be too late to stop them. Mr. Osawa! Kajiwara asked. Are you alright? Detective's gazed with some concern over Osawa's ashen face. Bracing himself, Osawa spoke up, his voice hoarse and dry. A killer virus is about to be unleashed in Tokyo, and I know who's responsible. It's me. Sudden confession caused the detectives on site to stir like a hornet's nest. Please arrest me. Feeling the weight of his crimes crushing down on him, Osawa dropped his gaze on the floor. He held up both his wrists. I'll tell you everything down at the station, he said. It's definitely my most distinctive voice apart from Yanagishita. Imagine if they made like a TV show out of this. I think we've had this conversation before. Osawa imagined bodies dropping left and right. There were no limits to what might be cured by this small stockpile of an antiviral in his lab currently contained. Radiohead are playing just outside an apartment building. If they were unable to quarantine the infected in time, then Shibuya, no, all of Japan might be engulfed in a pandemic that the drug could never stop. A massive outbreak of... Oh, is that what a pandemic is? I never would have guessed. In a global scale. Of 14th century Europe, massive cholera outbreak is said to have killed 2/3 of the population, and the Spanish flu outbreak in the early 20th century killed at least 25 million people worldwide. You shouldn't call it the Spanish flu, that's racist. Given modern advances in transportation, some researchers are of the opinion that the global risk of a pandemic is higher than ever before. He could only hope that his complying with the authorities might help stop the spread of infection before it was too late. That's a nice shot. There goes my guilty conscience. There goes my... The thought of the UA virus devastating Japan filled Osawa with despair. Blaming himself, he asked himself to be arrested. But this only happened because of what Kano told him. A simple error in word choice led Osawa to a completely wrong conclusion. Kano ought to be to properly inform Osawa of just what the kidnappers are after. I mean... It's Japan. I don't want to say it. I'm tempted to stop here, but before I do, I think I want to go through these other choices to see if anything happens here. It was me. Kajiwara and I both looked at him in surprise. We were just discussing work, Osawa continued. There's nothing odd about that. No, Kajiwara said. It is odd. Why would you need to go to such lengths for that? You're both here. Because you never leave me alone. There's confidential information I didn't want to be overheard. Well, but... Kajiwara seemed inclined to press the point. Well, the point is there's no reason to worry about Tanaka's emails. Now I assure you, we're done here. I need Tanaka to run some errands for me. So I opened the front door, hoping it would put a lid on the conversation. Tanaka gave him a quick bow and headed out the door. I did it again. I didn't need to do this. It was someone from work. But sir, Kajiwara was quick to butt in. Don't you have a computer in your study? Couldn't you have just sent the emails yourself? The detective had to choose now, of all times, to actually be perceptive. I do, but my computer was having problems sending email. I'm not sure what the issue is. Look, the point is there's no reason to worry about Tanaka's emails. There just isn't. I'm telling you. It was a lame excuse, but you just keep pressing it. Anyway, I think we say we're done here, Osawa said. He opened the front door. Now, if you don't mind, I've asked Tanaka to run some errands for me. Tanaka gave him a quick bow and headed out the door. Alright, now the other one. I doubt this will change it, but maybe. To work. I sent him to pick up some documents. A necessary lie. If Tanaka was behind the kidnapping, Osawa knew he ought to tell the police about the blue minivan and the emails from Tomi. But still, he couldn't believe that his assistant was the culprit. Wait, the blue minivan is giving me serious Higurashi van vibes, actually. We have investigators en route to Tanaka's condo. Yeah, okay. Also, the other thing I was thinking is like, so if Maria isn't really kidnapping, then like, there's definitely like some inside job who is like pretending to instigate this kidnapping in order to like get something relating to Osawa's drug research. But the question is like, what happened with Maria? Because she was just out on her own, and it's not like she was disguised by them. She did that of her own volition. And this Mr. Yanagishita is somehow the culprit all along. Which sounds absurd, but this game is absurd. Anyway, I'm thinking I will next stream this maybe on Tuesday or Wednesday, maybe. And we will continue with the utter chaos that is this game. It's been a good time. Oops, wait. No, whoops. I want to... How do I go back to character select? Oh, I'll just do this. That's not what I meant, but okay. Yeah, so anyway. See you then, maybe. Hope if you're watching this live or you're watching this VOD, hope you had a good time. Hope you have a good morning, evening, afternoon, night, whatever time it is for you, etc., etc., etc. Goodbye.